Plat Chat Overwatch, episode 227. We got a nice little episode today. We'll be talking about rank, talking about hero tier list, and that means, of course, we need Custa back.
Yeah.
Custa, how's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm tired. But,
We're all vibing.
Okay,
We're all chilling this afternoon.
Yeah. This is going to be a very chill episode. No yelling, okay?
No yelling. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll tone it down. We'll get some jazz music going.
Normal Plat Chat episode. No shouting, no arguing.
No arguing. You were a bit mad earlier, Joss, but
That's Jack's default frame of being. Let's be fucking honest.
Let it loose. Let it loose. I'm an enabler.
Dude, getting charged $185 for a redelivery is insane. Like, that is insane. I said, deliver on this day. He turns up early. The garage is closed. Oh, by the way, sir, 2 days late. There's a redelivery feed. Pay it now, otherwise, fuck you. And now, yeah, okay. GG's. GG's.
not as quite as extreme, but we ran out of dishwasher tablets, and I ordered new ones. And then they were delayed 2 days later. So our kitchen is just...
This is so
packed with
sad.
dishes.
Johnny,
This is so sad.
Imagine having a dishwasher.
That's more like me being lazy, but, you know.
Scrubbing and shit, you know?
I don't have a
Why don't you
dishwasher,
fucking
Johnny.
buy some, Johnny, bro?
Hand washing wastes water compared to running the dishwasher. So I'm trying to be environmentally friendly.
I don't know if that's true.
No, I mean, the
obviously,
dishwasher is a lot more water efficient than hand washing.
Yeah, but if you have like a few dishes, like you could
Well,
wash
if you
a
run
few
the
dishes.
dishwasher almost
save
empty.
up all your dishes, then
I
sure.
don't know.
Yeah.
It might be big dishwasher companies trying to market that
No,
to me.
I think that is in fact true, actually, because most people when they do their dishes, they run the water the whole time because it's really annoying to like turn the water on and off.
Okay, no, Jake's trying to kill the
fuck.
fucking planet. I've decided.
This is the worst intro to a podcast ever.
Bro, if we had a fucking
about-
segue into a fucking dishwashing
Yeah, if we had a
promotion,
dishwasher tab
we would
commercial
have
here,
been,
bro,
we
it'd
would have
go
popped off,
crazy.
but we don't.
No, we don't. Instead, we only have the one and the only back, as always. It's Manscaped.
Woo!
Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
Blink if you haven't purchased a Father's Day gift yet.
When's Father's Day?
That's right. That's right. We thought so.
Oh, God.
Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Maybe your pops has had a bush since the 70s, and that's okay. Our friends at Manscaped have crafted a total package for a special day. Whether it's the boys downstairs, his beard, or even the best pair of underwear out there, Manscaped has his bases covered. Head over to manscaped.com. Get 20% off plus free shipping with code PLATCHAT from daddy to saddy. Trust me.
Holy.
You know that beard trimmer that your dad's been using since you were in grade school? Yeah, it probably needs upgrading. Introducing the Beard Hedger Pro Kit, the complete beard maintenance kit for all the bearded kings. This all-in-one kit comes with a Beard Hedger, Manscaped's most advanced beard trimmer, as well as shampoo, conditioner, oil, and balm for his beard. It also comes with a brush, comb, and scissors, so he can style his beard and mustache like the true gentleman he is. No beard kit would be complete without Manscaped's Handyman face shaver. That smooth finish we know he loves. This bad boy is all he needs. Compact enough to fit in any travel case. Make sure he takes it on his next trip. If he cares a lot of body hair, like most dads do, you're in luck with this Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. This bad boy is designed with fathers in mind, featuring the signature lawnmower 5.0. This Father's Day is also the perfect time for your old man to stop stealing his wife's nail clippers and finally have a kid of his own that will last him a lifetime. The Shears 3.0 is the 5-piece precision men nail grooming kit that any father needs to stay on top of his self-care with professional grade stainless steel tools sized and styled for the task at hand. That set of underwear you got for Christmas a decade ago definitely needs upgrading. And what better way than with Manscaped's Boxers 2.0. There you go. Go to manscaped.com. Use code PLATCHAT for 20% off plus free shipping for Father's Day. What date is Father's Day, guys? What date? June
May?
16th. That's right. You got it all right. Great job.
Yeah.
You're on top of this.
So
Love
true.
it. Love it. So everyone out there, you got 3 weeks. You got about 3 weeks now to get this gift for your Father's Day. There you go. Code PLATCHAT at manscaped.com.
Plat Chat, baby.
Plat Chat,
baby.
Thank you, Manscaped. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring the
Manscaped.
podcast, as always. We'd love to see it. Yo, I need some of those nail clippers, for real. I need some of those. Good stuff. Anyway, today, as you can tell by the title, by the thumbnail, Joss, you just look perpetually surprised. You're just like,
What?
Just your eyes.
Yeah, because I clicked on and apparently
times.
Jane is streaming Overwatch. I was like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
The
Yeah.
inventor of
Yeah,
esports who's come to
Jane
make
was hanging
esports
out
too.
in the OW Esports chat this past week.
What
when
the
we were
hell?
doing
Who did this thumbnail?
Look at us.
Who did this
great.
thumbnail?
Aw.
That's awesome.
Jack's
the
talking
hell?
shit
I
even in the
got-
thumbnail.
I got done dirty on this thumbnail, bro. Jake looked surprised. Scott and Johnny look happy. What the
I'm
hell's my
chilling.
face?
I'm chilling. I
Oh,
look
you
chill
were
as hell
awesome.
right there,
I'm
man.
having a great time.
Me and Venture, we're homies like that. You know, we hanging out,
Yeah.
booling in the rank ladder.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some, Jack. It's all good. It's all
You
good.
win some, you lose.
I lose
You
every
look good
week.
in the next thumbnail. Anyway, yeah, we're doing a ranked hero updated tier list. But before we get there, sorry, Solomon, I just baited you. I put it in the document, so my bad. But I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on a few things before we get into the tier list first, because there's been a few news items. So I just want to go trickle down here. I know we'll talk about Venture in the rankings themselves, but there was a hotfix balance update released yesterday. Some nice quality of life changes to Venture. So I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on this. Jake, I know you've been playing a lot of Venture. How do these little changes look to you?
I think these are nice buffs for Venture, especially the drill dash cooldown now begins when ability is used. Since the skill takes about a second to play out fully, for me that's like actually you can think of this as almost like a 1 second cooldown buff, which is pretty huge on a skill that is like your mobility, it's your main damage nuke, and you know boop obviously on the enemy team. So for me, there's like that's number one is a pretty huge buff. The burrow grace period is actually really nice for delaying your exit from the ground, which in a lot of cases when you're trying to buy that like last second of cooldown cycle, you know, or stall cart for just a little bit more, it just means you're like 0.2 more seconds of invulnerability, which is really sick as well. And then the drill dash cooldown change is a little hard to understand at first. I was confused at first, but here's how it works. Essentially in the past, when you drill dash underground, this cooldown would be half, so 4 seconds, right? And now that's been changed. So instead of it actually being decreased when you use it underground, it's that the cooldown cycles almost twice as fast underground. So in theory, it's like a slight nerf from the old status where if you drill dash underground, you'll be waiting a little bit more than 4 seconds in theory. But the combination of the cooldown starting right when you use the skill instead of at the end of it, as well as 90% cooldown reduction means if you use your drill dash above the ground, like let's say you dive in, you're trying to get a kill, and then you burrow just after, which is a very normal thing to do on Venture, that in that case, you're still going to get the cooldown reduction, where in the past, you wouldn't have gotten any cooldown reduction from cycling that way, from dashing first, then burrowing. And so now it's just much more flexible. Like you're not forced to save the ability to use while underground to be more efficient. You know, even if you used it above ground, you can dig after and you're still getting the benefit of the CDR. So it's just going to make the hero play a lot more comfortably, flexibly, consistently. Just nothing like a huge buff here that's going to like massively change your output, but just a little bit more flexibility, which on a hero this mobile and this survivable is a big change, a really positive change, especially if you're good at Venture and you're like maxing out the potential of the kit. These changes are going to really help you. If you're a newbie and you're like don't know what you're doing, honestly, I don't know if these changes are going to really change much because you're not going to be doing like more raw damage unless you're, like I said, pushing things to the limit.
Yeah, I think the only time anyone was ever really getting the value from that like burrow thing was when you're running out of spawn. So I think this is going to be just like more valuable more often in fights. So I agree with Jake. It's kind of like just quality of life shit more than anything. I think it's like maybe one of those things that they're changing it in a way that affects the top ranks more than it affects the lower ranks, because I think Venture is struggling at top ranks, but I've heard they're an absolute menace at the bottom ranks. But you honestly don't see much Venture at high elo.
Yeah, I thought about that actually. I don't know if you had a take, Joss, on the small changes, but I thought about that. The controls for Venture, it really suits console well. And I heard from console friends I have that Venture is really strong on console, and I was like, this makes the most sense ever. So they're enjoying playing some Venture down there. They are. Moving on, we got some other pieces of news here. Shock have very much been hinting that they're doing a return to Overwatch. And Andy Miller was also out tweeting. I don't know if you can officially say they confirmed it, but there's like very strong hints that Shock are returning to Overwatch. Would probably be NRG in some capacity. Probably wouldn't return with the Shock brand. I don't know. But of course, this would be really exciting. There was like a poll out about what game they should do next, and Overwatch, I think they won in that poll.
Oh yeah, Overwatch like dominated.
Miles
Yeah.
are close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
So
go,
there you
baby.
Easy.
So this would be
Krusty
awesome,
with the
of course.
phone call. Yo, hit me up. He's ready, bro.
Yeah, would be awesome, of course. We'll see what happens, but there's a couple teams out there with no organization that could see themselves getting picked up. So we'll see what happens.
Well, the big question that I have for a lot of these orgs getting back in is like, I think we can agree that a lot of the reasons they're getting in is for the Esports World Cup. I'm curious if they're going to stick around for OWCS or if this is just going to be like a one and done Esports World Cup, like short duration signing these teams and then move on and not stick in the scene. Like it hasn't really been like confirmed. Like Fnatic is another great one that's sort of been like around the windmill for that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It sounds like this like Esports World Cup thing. They made like a news release with the teams and stuff. It seems like it's a long-term partnership of some kind. So I don't think teams are gonna pick up teams for the World Cup and then drop them like after.
Well, like why would you like if you think about it? There's one event in the middle of the year. Why would you pay a team a salary for 12 months when you can pay a team for 1 month, drop the team directly after Esports World Cup, and then just sign a team going into the next World Cup, and then you could just buy the team that you think is the best, right? Like
true. No, you're right.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the huge downside is competitive, right?
Douchebag move.
If you do that. I mean, I can see why teams would want to do that just to have like a team. But guess what? You're like the last ones of the party if you're doing that, which means you're not going to have a good team. Like, are you even going to be able to get a team that can qualify to Esports World Cup if you do that? Like, I would think of the teams that currently have sponsors, I don't see an unsponsored there's not a team that has no sponsor that is actually qualifying to this from my perspective. Like
yeah, like and I agree with that. So it's like it's kind of interesting to see that like thing. But like
I don't think this is that from NRG basically.
This is a lot. There's a lot of esports games that are getting picked up that don't have endemic organizations. So,
yeah, if you don't have
like a lot of niche teams.
If there's like no org at all, but I don't think that's not Overwatch, right? At least right now, like if you want to sign an unsponsored team right now, like you're not making it to Esports World Cup in Overwatch. Yeah. You know, like so I see your point, but I don't think that's actually what NRG is doing here. I think this has to be. It basically just doesn't make any sense unless you're doing it for a more long-term perspective. Like if there were an unsigned team that made it to Esports World Cup, I'm sure they would get snapped up by an org.
Oh, totally.
But I just don't see that happening with how strong the current sponsored teams are. Like there's no roster for me that you're like actually going to qualify with.
How many teams are at Esports World Cup for Overwatch? Or like
Overwatch? Oh,
well,
12,
like
right?
Yeah, there's 12, right? So
16. Oh, the bracket
16.
I think is
So
12,
it's like
right?
yeah, like there's actually are a lot of teams that like maybe they might not get a but if they can
do you get
like,
any points if you don't even make it to the.
I think so. I think you get some points. Like I think you get some points because like I think the whole point of this is to like incentivize people to like pick up rosters and like for your club. So like it'll be interesting to see how many points you get. Like if your team comes 9th, do you get like a couple of points? Because at that point it might just be like that. If it only costs us like a few $1,000s or like $10,000 for a month to sign a team, maybe it could be worth it to try and like boost up our average points.
Actually, now that I say that. There is a team that can score points. It's the team from China.
Yeah, team from China.
there is a team that could score some very serious points that's looking for an org or looking for a sponsorship. So
yeah. I mean, both Yeti and FTG were rumored like instantly to get an org as well.
Yeah.
I mean, those teams would score
FTG
points,
put out
almost
like
certainly.
eyes emoji today, so
yeah. I mean, they've been rumored that
Potential.
both of them have already been picked up like a week or so ago. You know, there's been rumors for quite a bit. So.
Hey, any esports orgs entering the scene? Hey, that's a dub for me, right? Like I think players getting paid. That's what everyone wants, and teams getting in.
Yeah, even whether it's 1 month or 12, man. Cash money.
I'll take one
good
step
for the
back.
players.
Good as long as the terms are okay and the players aren't signing up for like $100 a month. Don't.
Players.
I would think the players at this point they can advocate reasonably well for themselves because it's pretty well known and like all the players know each other. So if you're signing a deal for like crazy like low money, I feel like it's like come on, the resources are out there. Like as a player,
I'm not a lawyer, but if you're a player that haven't been signed before and you get an offer, like please talk to people who have experience before you sign up in contracts.
Like talk to me. There's so many players that will give you honest advice and honest feedback with no financial benefit. Like I don't even charge you if you're like, should I sign this contract? Like there's even like lawyers who will, like in the space who will probably like read your contract for free and be like, yeah, this is fine, or like don't sign your soul away from whatever.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, this.
And honestly, you can read your contracts yourself. I feel like people like you should also have a lawyer do it. On it is a very good advice, but I don't know if I've ever signed a contract that I'm like, it's like it's annoying to read yourself, but like it's not. It's you can figure it out. It's not people make like
game very recently. People did not read the contract, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, people don't. But I'm saying it's not that. I mean, obviously you want to have a lawyer review your contract, but like if you like have good reading comprehension, it's hard to be a lawyer to like write contracts that actually work. But to read a contract and understand what it means is not actually some like super crazy feat. Like you don't need a law degree.
And a lot of the jargon can probably just be Googled as well.
Exactly. If there's a word you don't know, you can Google it. And these contracts aren't. This isn't like intellectual property law. This isn't. It's not like really complicated stuff. It's like, like oh, we own the rights to like any content you make forever. It's like, well, I don't think I want to sign
like
that
a
away.
long time.
Forever is a long time. Everything is a lot of things.
Anyway, it's exciting, but be careful out there, players. Don't sign contracts that you'll end up regretting later, because it's happened way too often, especially like dull moments in esports when there's
for sure.
when people want to join and work desperately. Just be careful what you're signing up for. Anyway, all right. The final piece of like small news here we got as well is that the Hanzo skin officially came out for crowdfunding the WCS Dallas prize pool. So if you haven't checked it out already, head into the game, of course. Go buy the bundle, the Azure Flame Hanzo, 2,600 coins, and you'll be crowdfunding the prize pool. I still don't think they have like a counter or anything, so we have no idea how much they're actually raising.
Do we know the percentage as well?
Oh my god, I should actually know this on hand. Wasn't it like, what was it even for the World Cup last year? Wasn't it like 75% or something? No, 50? 25? I just said three very different numbers.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I feel like there needs to be like having just like it can't be that hard to have a tracker, right? Like of like how many people have bought this so that you can see the number go up, and that's like a big call to action when people are seeing the number go up.
25%. 25% of revenue.
Okay. That's pretty normal
from sales.
I think,
Wasn't it the prize pool?
Yeah, I think it goes back and forth like between certain games and stuff like that. It's not the worst. It's definitely not the best.
Is it? Wait, you said 25% is this? Is it confirmed or?
Yeah, it's 25% according to two different articles.
Okay,
so
I mean that's what like the split on TI was for many
yeah.
years. The TI split was 25% of the battle pass. Since it's like
How much does Val give for
Pretty
their
standard.
bundles? I actually don't know what the answer to that
a little
is.
higher, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a little higher.
Well, I mean, TI with Valve game they did 25.75, 25 for the tournament. And...
I think it's a Valorant.
Yeah, it's a Valorant. Yeah.
Val. Oh, I see. I have no idea actually. Well,
Does anyone
Valorant's also
care?
different because I think there's a split. It's not just like prize pool. It's like the org is getting a split of like the org bundle itself. And I mean, honestly, with how hard the players are repping it, I'd be surprised if those players aren't getting it. They surely are getting a split, right?
Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm not talking about the
100%,
champs
right.
bundle, but not the
Oh, the
team
champs
skins that
bundle?
they had.
Yeah, I don't know actually. Well,
Because they used to distribute to the teams. I don't know the answer to that, but I was just like, I know it was pretty good, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 25 is probably, to be honest, is like the low end.
Yeah.
Of like industry standard. Lower than 25 would be like kind of weird, actually.
Yeah, that
like
would be
25 is
scam,
kind of the acceptable minimum from my perspective. Would love to see that number go up, but it's also in the end
50% of the skins
Sorry.
bundle net proceeds will be split between all
That's what I
teams.
thought, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's 50.
net proceeds is interesting because what does that mean? Because net implies net is net costs. So like, what's the profit from the bundle? But how do you calculate the cost of the bundle? Is that like based on work hours or something? But who knows?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. The total
Probably
prize
still better
pool
than
for the World
25%
Cup last
gross.
year, I think it ended up being 513,000. So it did some work, bump that number up, but
Yeah.
hopefully we can get even more promotion this time around. I mean, it's only like a week and a half, 2 weeks of like funding, so it's gonna be tight.
The
But
World Cup was a lot longer of a period, no? And World Cup is like more well known as well. So I think if you hit 500k, then it would be good. But I don't know what you guys are kind of expecting numbers wise.
I have no idea.
We have no idea. We've never done anything like this, right?
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be some monstrous number. Like I don't.
No.
It's not going to be like 16 million Valve Dota 2 prize
No
pool.
way.
Maybe if we made a
whatever the
Mercy
hell,
skin,
but-
we'd get to $16 million.
Literally, yeah.
Save it for
actually,
Stockholm.
yeah.
Save it for Stockholm.
I want a
Sorry,
Sojourn skin. I feel like Sojourn
We just
needs
got one.
better skins.
Yeah, we had the World Cup one.
We had the World Cup one.
What?
And Admiral's pretty good.
The World Cup one
Yeah,
last year
okay,
was
fair.
Sojourn.
Admiral's
Fair.
good.
Yeah.
I think Sojourn still needs more and better skins.
Yeah,
Sojourn's
they're kind of getting the Zarya treatment right now, where it's like the skins are
A little bit. Yeah.
fine, but like nothing that
maybe it's
everyone
because
looks at and they're
default
like,
Sojourn
"Sick."
is so baller. Like I use a recolor Sojourn just because I like the default look of the character
yeah.
so much. I'm like I don't even really want a
You'll
crazy
use an
skin.
Altian. Yeah,
She's just
That's what
so
it is.
sick.
Yeah,
I agree. There's no great Sojourn.
But she
skins,
needs
I
a
agree with
skin
that.
where it's like, like I don't know, like you can be a giant in like a penguin suit as May. Like that's out of control, Like Sojourn doesn't have any like wild like I am actually an Omnic instead of a human, like that stuff is super like next level.
Yeah, we need one. We need a Sojourn skin for sure. I agree with that. Especially how much we see Sojourn being played. That'd be nice. All right, let's get into the ranked hero tier list. Now we have a bit of special extra thing, blanking on the word, to go with this. So
Secret sauce.
basically, I was like, "Hey, Custa, do you want to come on and do hero rankings?" And Custa was like, "Yeah, but let's add a gimmick."
Yeah.
And so brainstormed, and the gimmick is that all four of us, we have a lock. We can veto and lock a hero into a tier, no matter what anyone else says. So if you think a hero is really overpowered, or you think you're garbage, you can lock that hero into a different tier. I was thinking maybe we'll expand it to 2 per, but that'd just be out of control. Like we genuinely we'd lose all credibility at that point because Custa would just do.
We don't have any credibility. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's
I
spot on
only do this
actually
for a
with that
Manscaped
one.
gig, really. So, yeah, I don't know. We have nothing to lose. But yeah, I mean, this is after the tank update as well. I think that's why mostly we're doing it to see where we're at after the tank update and how we feel about these heroes. The huge armor changes as well. So, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I think we should just do. No, let's stop. Let's not go there straight away. Let's not not put Ilari
Good
up there
character.
just yet.
There was one
Extremely
person
good
who
character.
didn't
Just
complain
yet.
about that, and I think it's going to be a problem later down the line. But
Oh
we'll move
boy.
on.
Do you want to start with tank heroes and then do tank damage?
Yeah,
I
we
think
tank
we should do roll
DPS
by
and
roll.
support.
We should do roll
Okay,
by
yeah,
roll for sure.
all
Because
right,
tank
so-
had the biggest change. I think we talk about tank.
Yeah.
I got a big one, you guys. I think we should put Roadhog in S tier right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yo, Jake's starting spicy 100%. This hero is like by
Monster.
far the hero that got like just like net buffed in this mid-season because Roadhog doesn't have armor anyway. So like a lot of the tanks are getting, worse because the armor changes are overall worse for them against most heroes. But like Roadhog just got like a 25% head damage reduction. So it's like
He's
that's
the
pretty
number
good
one
when-
most headshotted hero in the game. I
Yeah.
don't have real stats on that, but he has to be the number.
He
He
has
has
to
to have
be,
the
yeah.
biggest head hitbox in the game and the most realistic to spam constantly. Like Diva has a huge head hitbox, but you can't actually headshot her all the time because she's moves a lot and matrixes you and stuff. But Hog just soaks headshots even from behind, which most tanks you can't headshot them in the back. So and then I was thinking, like when I was initially looking at the armor change, this is going to make armor better against Roadhog. But I realized like with the Roadhog rework with his primary, he actually doesn't really deal nearly as much pellet damage as before. It's a lot more in that like the middle pellets or whatever that I think are, since there's less pellets and they do more damage, he's actually not hurt nearly as much as the true shotgun heroes like Junker Queen, Reaper, Tracer, right? With like, or even Diva with like truly mass pellets in their gun that really are hurt. They're going to be much worse against armor. And I realized with the Roadhog gun rework, he's actually not, he's probably buffed by this in terms of net change to his damage versus armor. So not only is he's individually a lot more tanky with the headshot buff, but also when he's, hooking and headshotting another tank, he's actually dealing probably more damage to armor than before.
He has become a problem again. Holy shit. Like, they were like, we're going to stop this, like, play pattern of getting hooked and one-shot. It's really frustrating. Every Roadhog right now fucking hooks and one-shots. Whether it's, like, a little bit of spam damage or, like, you just classic, like, walk in, hit melee and shit, and then the pig pen. It's like,
it's just
the
not
problem
realistic
didn't
to get
go
hooked
away.
into the enemy team and not die.
and
like,
not take more damage.
yeah,
like how are you not going to
It's-
die? I mean, it's like, yeah, you might, even if he, whether or not, I don't know if they can even, if that's fixable. Like you go tweak the
not
one shot.
fixable.
But
It's
like,
not fixable.
Realistically, you get pulled out of position like that.
Yes, you are
It's like someone else is going to shoot you. Like,
Your movement is being taken away from you completely, and you're just being moved to another portion of the map where you didn't want to fucking be. I think the hero just fucking delete it. Or delete the hook. I think this hero is so flawed. And
that's
like,
its, like,
he
identity,
again
right?
is so emphasized in these not weird patches, but like patches that affect tank where he's either trash, like unplayable, or he's a fucking elite super soldier, ultramarine fucking from the Warhammer universe, like going through and just like mowing everybody down. Like nothing stops him, bro. Like it's so fucking annoying. And like the whole breather change I thought was really cool because that was one of his big weaknesses before, was that he could just get slept or antied throughout it. But now I'm like, wait,
Now,
maybe
like, how
that
do you
was
counter
really
it?
maybe that was really bad, because now you just can't counter it because he just gets up anyway and then he uses it and then he has damage resist. So it's like, okay,
The problem
great,
is
now we
all
can't
his
kill him.
counters are like high coordination stuff. So you look at pro play and like no
Yeah.
one's gonna touch Roadhog because at a super high level in a coordinated team, like you just run him down. You either completely ignore him and just hold, and then as soon as he oversteps, you like run him down in 5 players and smoke him instantly because everyone turbo focusing him, he will die. But that is not realistic to ranked. This is not going to happen. And so stuff you can't deal with by yourself that like requires multiple enemy players to stop, for me often is problematic in the game.
The play pattern of him being in the game as well, where like, oh, we have a hog or they have a hog. Okay, our team then also goes hog, and it's the whole like no one is playing the game except for the hog players. And they're just sat there. Oh, I hooked the enemy hog. Like, oh, I hooked a DPS. I hooked a support. That's like off angling or whatever. It's just like the play pattern, not only for the hog character, but for like everybody else around him is just significantly worse when that character is picked. Like he's in that problematic category. If he's too strong, the game just becomes like 100 times worse. And I think this is, we're getting
Scott,
there.
I'm gonna let you talk first, Scott, before I say something.
Yeah, well, like for me, like I completely agree. Like you saw it at the beginning of the season when like a lot of people were like, oh, let's try these other heroes, and they tried them, and then Roadhog just like, and then everyone just started defaulting to Roadhog, or like they started losing, then they went Roadhog, and then they started winning. So it's like eventually people just realized that just playing Roadhog is the best. We expected this to happen with like Orisa being worse. Orisa was pretty good against Hog with the Javelin and stuff like that. You also pair Roadhog with like a Kiriko who's really strong, and like all of a sudden a lot of the counters that come to Hog just don't exist anymore. So like I don't know. I saw this Hog issue coming, like we talked about it when we first went through the tank changes. So I don't know. I'm with Jack. I don't know how you fix him without like fundamentally just changing his entire kit. Like having a tank with a hook and a high damage close shotgun is always going to be a problem. So he's either going to be trash or incredibly strong.
I know this is the first hero we're talking about, and I don't want to stir up bad vibes.
Bad vibes.
Scott, I was in your stream 2 weeks ago, or like after these changes happened, and you were like, people in my chat, they complain about Roadhog. I'm gonna say it. I think tank players are not creative enough. Okay.
I said this. I did say this.
Just whining.
I fucking hate tank
trying
players.
stuff out.
I think tank players are just like, tank players love to complain about their role, and then they're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna start locking Roadhog every single game, and then I'm gonna complain about playing Roadhog every game. It's like, and it obviously the meta pushes you a certain way, but like I don't know. It just frustrates me that like the tank players are just like, you know, I think Winston is good right now, but the issue is that you need team coordination, and tank players don't trust their team, and their teammates don't trust the tank player, so everyone's just like, fuck it, we play Roadhog.
Yeah.
And then we just end up in this cycle where everybody's depressed, and then we go play Marvel Rivals or some shit.
It's annoying to queue tank because you play so many Roadhogs. You get like it's definitely at my level. You can get away playing other stuff, and I play a lot of other stuff into the Roadhog because sometimes I just don't want to launch Overwatch, and I just don't want to play Roadhog. Like sometimes I'm just in the
Oh, too bad, buddy. Enemy lock hog. You have to lock hog now as well.
No, you
buddy.
actually don't. You actually
I don't
can
think
play around
I
the
don't think it's
Roadhog.
that bad. I don't think it's that bad.
You can play around the
be
Roadhog.
honest.
But sometimes I just don't want to play against a Roadhog. So it's just
No
one of
one
those
wants to play
metas where I'm
against
like,
Hog.
oh man, I guess it's time. I gotta play around this Roadhog again. It was like just frustrating. It is what it is. I come to terms with metas in Overwatch where like sometimes a hero you don't like is gonna be meta, and that's fine. We'll get over it. They'll fix it. Whatever. As long as it's not like 2 years of Sojourn. Like that's a bit overboard. But right now, a lot of Roadhog being played. It's annoying as a tank player because sometimes you don't want to play against Roadhog. So Roadhog really strong.
Well,
really
my
anything
my
else, yeah.
favorite thing is the play. I had a game where we were playing like a Sigma mirror or something like that, or a Queen mirror, and then the other guy goes hog, and my tank just tilted off the face of the fucking earth. Like he's
It's
just
real.
like, this bitch just went roadhog because he has no respect for himself and he doesn't want to have fun, and then he just tilted, and then we lost the game.
I
Because
literally
the
do
other guy
that.
was
Roadhog
That
is
is
like,
my
not
strat.
that good against either of those heroes, though.
Yeah,
like,
well, yeah,
like
but, like, I
Queen
don't know
and
what it
Sigma
was.
should be fine.
But
If we're getting rolled, I
whatever
go
happened,
roadhog.
he went roadhog and we ended up losing the game, and that's just frustrating to play into because like it didn't feel like we lost to the team. It just felt like they went roadhog and my tank decided to end the game because of it.
I feel like it's just weird in that it's such an individualistic hero on tank. I think Doomfist and Ball are kind of like this as well. Not nearly as bad because they draw vision aggro, which Roadhog does not really draw vision aggro because he is standing in the front. He's not going behind, so he's not like pulling your attention away from your other teammates. He's more just like in the front, so you might shoot him first, but you're still looking at the rest of the team. So yeah, I think just such an individualistic hero on tank is just so he sort of feels out of place. I think it helped with stuff like the pig pen, but in the end, that just became like you're not really changing how you're playing hog, and I don't think you ever will unless they change hook, because hook is like this defining ability where is like it is incredibly good. It's like you are making solo kills on tank, functionally solo kills, even if your team might need to assist you for the actual kill. Realistically, the hog is like the one who has the skill shot, and everyone else is just like gets free shots on somebody if you're paying attention. So I think that mechanic is not normal on. There's no other tank who plays like that, who's like truly individualistic. Even Zarya is like, it's not very good to only self bubble. Like it's okay, but it's like you really should be ally bubbling to get the most out of the hero. Where Hog is like, no, you're actually playing correct, just going for your own solo kills. You might need to hold the front line and not be like completely psycho flanking on Roadhog, but it's still, it's like your skill, whether you hit hooks or not, is pretty much going to determine whether you win or lose. Unlike a lot of other heroes where your skill is like about awareness of the game. Hog is like, you don't really need to be so aware of what your teammates are doing as long as you hit hooks and you're in good position.
You hit hooks, you follow up, you're annoying, and that's it. All right, we got to move on because we got a lot of heroes to rank. Roadhog, obviously one of the biggest winners in the patch, and so deserves a lot of time spent talking about Roadhog. But some of these heroes we can just quickly want to go through. Let's go to Wrecking Ball next. Another one of those individual kind of tank heroes in some sense. Got a few buffs here and there, but what do we think about Wrecking Ball?
I think it's actually pretty decent.
I'd say like B tier. I feel like Wrecking Ball's hard to
lockout
rank because it's just like if you play Wrecking Ball, you don't need this hero tier list. You like know about the hero, versus if you don't play Wrecking Ball, do not fucking pick this hero. Like you need to. This is the most technical hero in the game, the most unique hero in the game. I don't even think it's that close, really. Like of every role, this is the hardest hero to pick up and play. It's not the hardest hero to play once you like master it and you know how they play the hero, but it's just the most technical and requires like a skill that no other hero has, like understanding the way the cooldowns work. But I think all the buffs he's gotten, I definitely, if I'm playing with a ball player who like knows what they're doing, he knows how to handle the hero, I'm not feeling bad about that. I can feel like we can play into every matchup. Maybe like even like the mass stuns comp, I don't even think that's that big of a problem, because that just means you just have to pick well on the other heroes. If the enemy has mass stuns, you go like Zen on a Widow or something and just farm them. And if they look at ball forever, they just lose to everyone else.
It's also one of those heroes, like if you're a ball player, you kind of like accept when the enemy comp is like countering you, and you're just like, well, unless you're like a Wrecking Ball main, you're probably going to swap off Wrecking Ball if the enemy comp plays like, I don't know, Sombra or something. So
this is my hot tip
If
to
you're
the
not a
ball
Wrecking Ball
players.
main,
You
you're not
gotta
playing
learn
Wrecking Ball.
Zarya. If you play Wrecking Ball, learn Zarya, because the stuff that is like the most egregious counters to Wrecking Ball, well, Zarya and Sigma, I'd say, are both in this category, is like those egregious Wrecking Ball counters, like mass control, mass stuns, are basically garbage into Zarya and Sigma. Like you're just like standing there free shooting on them. So when they go Cassidy, Sombra, Brig, and then you just go Sigma and you just like poke them to death, like you actually delete them. So the Wrecking Ball is really good. Just like have one other like high damage hero that isn't so vulnerable to stuns in your pocket, and counterpick the enemy when they grief you with mass stuns. Because you're probably not going to be playing Wrecking Ball into like 3 or 4 stun control heroes. It's not going to look so good.
I also think Roadhog has Wrecking Ball has the opposite problem of Roadhog, where I actually think you need your team to follow up. Like Wrecking Ball doesn't kill things effectively enough on their own. They need at least one other player to follow up and go through them, or you need to hope that like you're creating enough space that your Sojourn player kills everyone or something like that, right? So it's kind of if your team isn't going to be able to help you, then there's really nothing you can do, and that's kind of a problem.
all right,
Yeah, makes sense.
short and sweet. Let's just complete the trio of annoying tank heroes and go with Malga next. And another one of those silly heroes. I've actually enjoyed picking Malga here and there.
You're a fucking monster.
And getting away with it. I don't know what it is. Like against certain enemy compositions, I'm just like, oh, it's a good Malga spot here.
Malga. Yeah,
I'll just pick Malga because I think it makes sense, and we'll shut down the enemy tank, and they'll similarly also mold Custa that I picked Malga, and then we'll win the game because they're just mad.
I feel like Malga's not all that problematic, like anymore, at least anymore with all the changes and stuff, especially the heal reduction on DPS.
I still think Malga's a legit pick sometimes in rank for sure.
Yeah. I think in ranked, definitely fine hero. For
he's
ranked,
he's under ball, bro. He's not that
I would
good.
put him like with ball, I would say, because there's like a lot of comps where you can.
I don't know.
You like.
Because I was going to say I put ball higher,
farm.
but like you do need to be a wrecking ball player, like you were saying. If you're
Yeah,
not a
so
ball player,
wrecking
don't
ball,
play
I feel
ball.
like is like nerfed by the skill requirement. Where Malga
Exactly.
is
Yeah,
not.
but if you're a ball player, a ball is like A for sure. But if you're not, like if we're just going across the board, sure, then ball's a B because no one else can fucking play the character.
That's why I think Malga's kind of B across the board. It's not like you're gonna make Malga an S tier hero by being super good at Malga, but he's like pretty useful sometimes, you know. Like
he can be.
If the enemy doesn't quite have the damage.
I have hot takes on
control
Malga. I still think it creates a very boring gameplay loop, but I mean.
Yeah,
Is it a hot
it's
take?
too good at
Wow.
killing the other tank. I think is like the biggest.
I mean,
problem with
apparently,
him.
Johnny, you're like, oh, Jonathan Bow's that bad, bro. Yeah, he's pretty fucking chill, bro. You fucking stand there and you
Dude,
hit
I
two
think it's
left and
legit
right
like
click and you
Stockholm
shoot people.
syndrome. Like I think I've just grown accustomed to Malga at this point.
You're a tank player,
I
bro.
like
You've got something
the
wrong in the
overrun,
brain.
though.
Like, come on, bro.
It's so fun to like jump on people and stun them like with the run. You like.
It is kind of fun to watch.
I actually like playing the hero. It's kind of fun.
I like blowing people up, but I don't know. I don't like.
Well-
Yeah, no, it's actually a toxic hero. I don't know why I'm saying this. Help me. This is a
See.
cry for help, guys.
Well, it's kind of like it's fun because you're like you can just kind of like if you're getting tank diffed on like a certain hero, like especially like even like Roadhog, if you're against like a Roadhog one trick who's just better at Roadhog, you can kind of just go Malga and just fucking shoot the guy and then you just ruin his day. Like, and there's a lot of tanks that you can do that to. So like I think he's kind of like just like a very simple hero to get a lot of value, and I think that's comforting for certain tank players.
And if you have good teammates who can use the lifesteal buff effectively,
Yeah.
who want to play close to you in the front line, like you have like a Lucio to help you gap close. I mean, I think the hero's fine. I mean, B tier for me is just like, yeah, like this hero can work, but it's not gonna like dominate the game.
Yeah.
If you're forcing Malga every game, you're probably
like
gonna
B.
run into
Yeah,
some
you're gonna
serious
lose. Yeah.
trouble.
Sure.
I
But
like
like
B for
in the
Malga.
right spot, yeah, bring out the Malga.
Yeah. Jaw still wants the hero change.
I'd say C, but I think ball's just better. But
All
that's
right.
because every ball that is in ranked only plays ball.
No,
and they're
B.
very good
Let's
at
go
it,
B,
so.
Solomon. Let's go B, Solomon. There you go.
Ignore
There you go.
those.
All right, let's head over to Junker Queen. What do you think about Junker Queen? Has a couple moments. You could maybe pull out the Junker Queen. You can
I don't
counter.
think she's that bad. I'm gonna be honest.
I love this hero because I mean for me this is like I think this is the highest like or the hero that gets the most reward from aim skill on tank I think is Junker Queen. Like if you're a DPS player, this is like the tank for you. Well, you need to have some good awareness of the game to understand like when to shout and how to use your cooldowns and stuff, but hitting the knife is like critical. You like win the game by knifing a backliner, or like leaving the knife in the tank so they can't retreat and then pulling them right at the worst moment for them. The ult is like super dominant. The ult can be like soft counter by Kiriko, but I don't think it's that big of a deal since you could hit multiple players, 2 spread out. It's very hard to cleanse them all, and even 1 kill or whatever is pretty good. So I am a fan of Junker Queen, so I would put her in like A, honestly. But maybe that's.
I think she's definitely
A.
better than ball.
Ooh.
Definitely better than ball and Malga right now for sure. I
Okay,
think
maybe
she's
this is also
Roadhog
like
S
I
tier,
think this is
but-
like high level bias. I don't know. In like lower ranks, I could see her being a lot worse because I think she doesn't have any free value. Shout is sort of free value, but it's probably really bad at low rank because people don't like understand that they have like this important tempo swing. It's like in low rank, I feel like you should just heal amp every time on Lucio, you know, like people just aren't going to use the speed amp properly. Maybe that's an overstatement, but like, I don't know, maybe I'm curious what you guys think. Custa
No, that's true. I have bad bias because I have bad mechanics, and so
Yeah,
therefore
yeah,
I think
yeah.
Junker Queen is worse.
So I think
than-
JQ is like
Yes.
probably not A tier for like the average player. So maybe it shouldn't be here.
It would be B for me, but A for you.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, this is like a weird hero to rank in that way. So I think if
I
we're gonna
think
say
the hero's
average
fun.
players, maybe B. Honestly,
I think
No,
the
we're
hero is
saying,
fun,
like-
so I would like to put them in A. Like,
Yeah.
fuck this tier list. Like, as I said, like I'm not here for like a scientific time. I'm here for a good time, and I think Junker Queen's fun. Like, if
she's
I play
better than
tank,
Ball.
Junker Queen's a hero that
Better
I'll
than Malga.
play probably more than I should.
I'd say this is a top 500 ranking, which includes like top masters and GM and champion, of course. But
I think Junker Queen's
Is top
better, and
Masters top
people-
500? Isn't it only for like the first like month
For
of the
tank,
season,
it definitely is. Top 500 tank
Yeah,
is
no,
like
no.
Masters
Ain't no
2
one
or
played that
something
role,
like.
bro. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say. Yeah,
That's why it's
66
Masters
both
2.
I need to play
tanks,
more
no one
tank
played
games,
the
then I'd
role.
be top 500. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So true.
Okay, A for Junker Queen. Let's just go down the line. We got Reinhardt up
All
next.
right, Ryan, spice for me, but I think Ryan is actually pretty okay right now.
I think Ryan's okay as well.
I think Ryan at least B tier, honestly.
Yeah.
It
he's
also
big.
is a little bit of a weird hero for like you want to be a specialist on Ryan. It's not that like plug and play. You
Yes.
need to like
You want to be
you
cloudy.
need to know how to play
basically.
corners. You need to know how to like use your HP efficiently, use your armor pool efficiently. But for me, I think the regen buff and the headshot buff actually are very big for Ryan. Ryan is very easy to headshot when he swings. So he's like very vulnerable. When his shield breaks, he's very vulnerable to being headshot to death. And now like that's not as bad anymore. And the being able to like he's the only tank besides maybe Wrecking Ball where it's like actually realistic that you will not take any damage for enough time to start regenerating health and get the percent health because he holds shield. So you hold like when you like tank on your health bar, you hold shield, you actually are going to get a few seconds of regen by just holding shield full duration unless you're getting super cooked by damage. So there's obviously some hard counters for Ryan. You can't force Ryan into like mass DPS Bastion Zen crap. But in a lot of games for me, that Ryan is like fine now. Like the changes have been really good for him. And with
Custa, would
Orisa
you
not
do it
being
with me
so
if I played
dominant.
Ryan?
No.
Oh wow, that
That might be a
says
skill
it all,
issue
bro.
though. So it's
No, okay, no. So
Ooh, a
here's the
little
thing.
rough.
Here's the thing about Ryan is like I think Ryan is fine depending on the map and the situation
Oh, yeah.
of like that as well. Like you can't play Reinhardt on Dorado. People have certainly tried in my games and it doesn't work. Like
It's garbage.
Who are these people?
the Reinhardt
Ryan
one tricks.
one-tricks.
And the problem when Ryan becomes good is it becomes like that coin flip where it's like, do you get the one trick on the right map, right? Like you get Reinhardt on like Flashpoint or Control, like on certain maps. That's pretty good. Like I'll just go Lucio, I'll run you around, and like sometimes the Reinhardts just fucking go crazy. But like, yeah, then you get them on King's Dorado, and they're like, well, my only play is to run up the right stairs and pin and hope somebody like I just like hit somebody, like, and that just very rarely happens. So it's like, yeah, it's just map specific. I
Yeah,
don't think you can force it everywhere though.
Heroes with very low mobility are always going to be super.
Yeah.
Well, not even worse than other low mobility heroes, right? Because Ryan's a low mobility melee hero, so it's like super problematic. If that works, if that's good for like you said, the objective I think matters a ton. I think push is actually a pretty decent mode for Ryan.
Yeah, not
since
bad.
he's pretty sick at defending and pushing the cart. Yeah, I think everything except for like I think escort and hybrid are usually the worst modes for Ryan because he doesn't want to just sit on the car and escort and hybrid. It's more okay on push because push the fight actually is like really around the objective, but on escort a lot of times it's so much better to just be highly mobile on tank so you can push car and then you could go for kills and then you could go back to the car if you want to, or at least you deal a ton of damage so you can like push enemy off the car. Ryan, yeah, like on those very vertical maps he just suffers so much.
As someone who is as good as Cloudy, I've definitely gone away playing a lot of Ryan recently, and so I'm
think
happy with B
at
tier.
least. I think in the past I would have put
I'm happy
Ryan
with
at like
B tier.
C or D, especially
Yeah.
with Orisa. In the Orisa meta, I would have said worse than this. But I
No,
think
it's viable.
B
It's
is like middle of the road hero. for me.
Reinhardt's not that bad against Hog, right? As well, like you can make it
yeah.
work, and like you can kind of like mitigate it if you play well around.
And
like,
also,
the
you're
hooks.
gonna have uncontested shatters, which is
Yeah.
pretty sick, and that you can shatter the hog, and actually that lasts long enough to kill him a lot of the time. If you shatter and then have like a delayed pin, you know,
the
if your
extra
team's
range
there,
from the
he'll
shatter
die.
is low key nice.
Yeah. Shatter is very
It's
good now.
nice to have a bit of extra range to hit like a backline that's like pretty far away and fire striking to following up. Like it's actually pretty nice. So I'm happy with B. I'm just comparing to the last tier list. I'm happy with B. So Rhino player, I feel like I can get away with it now. Joss, do you have any takes before we move on to next hero?
Just Ryan suffers when certain heroes are OP, like Orisa. So whenever
also, like,
heroes kind of in
really
flux right
relies
now-
on certain combinations. Unlike most of the other heroes here, I mean, I think Junker Queen's a little bit this way too, but like you really need a Lucio for these heroes.
Yeah.
And I would say Ryan honestly needs more than a Lucio. Ryan needs like some kind of catch hero, a plus Lucio, like a Sim or a Mei, or at least a Cassidy, or like an Ana or something. I mean, something, right, to like help you close gaps. Honestly, it's not as bad. Maybe Lucio's enough, but at least some kind of control for like
Yeah, that's a
stop the
great
flying
point.
heroes from just like destroying you. Like the problem with Ryan is he doesn't really counter anything. He just like does okay by himself, and then you need your teammates to pick around you.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, because not only does a Reinhardt main like me, I need to roll into a good Rhine map, but I also need to roll into a good support duo that actually picks heroes so I can get away playing it. Like if my team picks like Mercy on or something, I'm like, oh well,
Yeah,
well,
just get off Ryan.
okay.
Bro, it's done.
No,
Yeah, it's shocked.
all right, fair enough. So okay, moving on to Ramatra, next brawler, also in an okay spot.
For me, A or S, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. That's pretty high. I'm not sure
That's
I'll go
higher than I
that
was
high,
thinking.
but
I'm thinking like high B, low A. That's kind of where
Yeah,
I am at.
I feel like A is pretty fine for me, but I think Ram is decidedly better than Ryan still, and just is a much more flexible hero. Like Ramatra could be played slow, which unlike Ryan is like very bad for playing slow.
Yeah, no, better
But
than
Ram is
Reinhardt
like
for sure.
pretty
but...
comfortable playing. Obviously you're very solid in rush, but you're also pretty solid as a poke hero. So for me, any heroes that like straddle multiple styles that like can have many different teammates and still be functional are pretty good. Yeah, so I think that's part of what makes Roadhog so good is like you can kind of have anything on your team, and it like sort of you don't really rely on them that much. You need your teammates to like pick good heroes for the situation, but almost any one trick can like work with the Roadhog. Almost any one trick can work with Ramatra. There's no hero where I'm like, oh shit, I even like I don't really need Lucio. I mean, you probably should play Lucio with Ram. It's a lot better if you have like a gap close. But in the end, you could just play poke with Ram and just like poke corner.
Do you guys feel that good when you have a Ram on your team?
I don't ever feel bad. I think I don't feel like terrible, like, oh, fuck, we have a Ram, we kind of just lose. Like, that's what I feel about some of those B tier heroes. But, like, I don't think there's many situations where I'm like, I have a Ram on my team. I think this is just kind of
I like value that attribute super highly on tank for ranked. Just that, like, it's a stable, strong hero. Like, if you, for most players, they don't play, like, more than 3-4 heroes. That's, like, on the high side. And so if like you're gonna pick a hero to add to your hero pool, I feel like Ram is an extremely good candidate for like this is like you could do a ton of play time on this hero and you're not throwing your games. Versus like if you're forcing Wrecking Ball every game, you're gonna have some impossible games. I don't think Ram almost ever has like an impossible game. Like it can always kind of work for me.
Yeah,
maybe
like
the
the
super
character.
vertical maps is a problem, but
He's just
not
better
nearly
than
as
all
much.
the other B heroes. It's like that's
I'll go
how it
with A. Let's look Ram to A. I will say no one, of course. I mean, we just started it, but no one has used their lock yet. And of course, I'm pretty happy with my Rhine placement. So I got to save my Rhine lock for
I'll
another
save the
hero I can
lock for when I'm exactly for when we're in conflict. But we've been
we're all
too
pretty
strong.
in agreement so far.
Yeah, we're in pretty agreement so far. I suspect it'll change up in a little bit here. All right, let's go to Zarya next. Quickly a listing on Zarya here. I don't think we need to go expand too much on Zarya, but
Man,
I
where
don't
to
know,
put Zarya?
man.
I just don't see Zarya that much. I feel
neither do
I feel this hero is from my perspective is like actually I feel it's very strong like at a super high level. I think the grab buff is also kind of nice.
The
but-
grab
I
is
haven't noticed it yet
crazy.
because I
Like
haven't
I
seen
feel like I
much
get
Zarya,
zipped.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get
The
sucked
grab
from,
is
like,
like bigger than the
out of
visual
nowhere.
now,
It's-
which is pretty cool.
It's insane.
So for me, the thing I think is weird about this hero is I think this hero is actually like really hard to play super well, like because with how you really want to be ally bubbling as often as possible, and ally bubbling is like the hard part of the hero, knowing when it's good to ally bubble and when you don't need to, and like how do you now there's so much more choice with the bubbles. I feel the hero became so much more high skill than before when it was like one self, one ally is like more straightforward how to use it. Sometimes if you're high energy, you can like just keep self bubbling and you're just doing so much damage you're carrying and like you don't need to ally bubble. Other times you can like enable people with ally bubble to do a ton. Where you are in the energy stack matters a ton. Yeah, so I don't know. Like for me, I feel Zarya is pretty good in like the right circumstance, but then she's also not all that flexible. She's like, I think you must have a Lucio. Like I will not play this hero without Lucio.
yeah, and honestly, I don't like a ton of the matchups where I feel like, oh, I'm playing Zarya, I have an advantage against what I'm playing. And I
It's
feel
like a
because of
hard
that-
dive counter. It's like a Doom and a ball counter if you really know what you're doing on Zarya. You just like save the bubbles and then like the Doom and the ball can never kill anything because you're always bubbling the people they're trying to kill, and then you're very patient. And Grab is very good against those heroes, but I don't think Doom and Ball are really that popular heroes, so maybe it's not.
Oh,
that
are we
good.
putting any tanks in C or D?
I feel like Zarya might be a C. I mean,
I think
honestly.
Zarya is C as well. My take on Zarya is that like I think there is a good time and place to play Zarya, and it really works. But the problem is you need to be very willing to switch as soon as they switch against you. Because
as soon
like,
as they go Winston or something, you're done.
Yeah,
or
you
Sig,
need
you're
to go.
done. Get off
Yeah.
instantly.
And
And drop
there are
grab, because grab, you don't care about grab.
there are some tank players that I have seen do that, where it's like, we're not winning this matchup. If I go Zarya, it's at least going to force a reaction from them. And if they don't react, Zarya will be good. But if they do react, then you need to get the fuck off that hero as soon as possible. So it's like, it's just a very niche hero that most people probably shouldn't touch because they're probably just going to do it. And let's be honest, most of the people that play Zarya are just DPS players who are like, I'm going to play tank. Let's just go play fucking Zarya.
And
I think
tank
Zarya
players
is
like
even
me
less
who are
that
like way
hero
too
than she used
ambitious.
to be.
We're like, yeah, I can get away playing Zarya. I'll get away with this pick, and then I inevitably don't, and I have like
I need
20
like a
energy.
really good DPS player and a Lucio for me to play Zarya. Then I feel really good. If I have like a very, very good Cassidy player and I'm like super confident in them and they know that I'm good at Zarya, then like they will push the limit way harder on their hero and do the most, and I'll save them. And like that synergy can be really explosive at the highest level, especially in ranked, because I'm like, my Cassidy is like turbo inting, but he can't die. Like that's kind of crazy. And if my Lucio is like good at Lucio and we're always speeding around, like we can be this huge damage threat. But at the same time, if I'm missing, like I need like multiple pieces to feel good on this hero. So for me, that's like C, because consistency issues.
Let's go C with Zarya. You know, I spent too much time on Zarya. It's a good hero. It's a fun, balanced hero. It's
Good
it's
is
alright.
like,
Has
I
its
would
moments,
say a little bit less than good, but it's
Okay.
in the right
Well,
spot. It could be very strong. It's very niche.
Yeah. I'd be like, please, devs, don't put in like, here's 3 buffs to Zarya. Like, I don't think we're in that territory just yet. All right. Orisa. Is Orisa dead?
It's D or C. I don't know. I think D. I mean, the only heroes I think this is good against is Doom and Ball. I think those matchups are still very good for Orisa because you don't necessarily need to move fast and fortify, but in the end, there's so many nerfs to Orisa. It's like pretty heavy-handed, which is honestly good. Thank God. This hero needed to get a rotation out. Maybe in the future, you know, we can give her some kind of buff. And we can see her again. But let's give it a few months. She could be on the bottom of the barrel for a few months. That's
Jaws.
okay.
Keep her down.
She's gonna
there,
come
bro.
back. She's gonna come back.
She is gonna come back. You gotta,
Another
every hero can
problematic
come
hero.
back. It's okay.
Yeah.
I just,
As long as it's not for like a whole fucking patch cycle again, because that was just hell. I mean, the thing is, we always get to these points where right now, I actually think we're in a good bet. Apart from Hog existing, I think we're in a good spot where like I load into a game and my feelings when I see a tank pick a certain hero, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like we can work with this. We can do this, you know, like most of the time. But like when it is just Orisa Hog perma, it's like this game fucking sucks. Like I do not want to play. I do not want to load in because I'm not going to be able to do anything, and it's going to become a 1v1 and then 8 other spectators, and that is inherently not good. And I think right now we're actually in a good spot, even though Hog is kind of fucking stupid. I think right now we're in a decent position, and you know, nerfing Orisa this much was a good thing. And I don't think she is that good. Like she is not even used as like a Zarya thing where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna counter pick. Like I'm just 8 on my sleeve. It's this Orisa pick. Oh my god, I'm gonna go crazy. Nah, it's not that good. And even good Doom and Ball players, like the only players that are playing those fucking heroes are the one tricks anyway. So it doesn't matter because they will also be able to play around it because they played against so many of those matchups before. So it's really whatever the Orisa pick right now. I don't think it's that good at all.
No, I think it's
can
definitely
work,
a bad
but, like,
hero, but it's like
like
a niche counter pick, and it's not really that good on its own.
You can
Scott,
play
did
it,
you
but
have a
like
take?
you're not gonna
No,
win.
I
against
agree.
Ram and
I
shit.
think it's good. She's been taken to the farm. Good for her. She
Go
can
for it.
To the
stay
glue
dead.
factory.
Yeah, take it to the glue
Exactly.
factory, get rid of
Hold
her. And
So-
it's more just like something of it's like, it's okay for that to be that. The only time I've seen Orisa so far this season is when people are just like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to go back to what I did last season, even though that's like
Yeah.
incredibly ill-advised.
Yeah.
I mean, like
All
I said,
right.
I think Doom and Bob, you can play this hero and like do really well in those matchups because those heroes really hate getting stunned, and Orisa has a pretty, if your aim is good, a pretty reliable stun. But in a rush mirror where you're like trying to outvalue the enemy tank, the nerfs are really gonna bite. Like trying to outvalue, outlast Ramatra in like a tank trading scenario.
Thank God.
Good luck with that. Like it's not gonna be so good for you.
Yeah. No
Even
way.
Roadhog is like, he's just gonna like kind of kite you, and then like you're gonna run out of resources first, most likely.
All right. Winston. S tier? Can I get an S tier for Winston?
I
In
think
ranked though,
Yeah,
I feel like it's very close to S, but
Come
maybe
on.
because
Winston
of
Overwatch,
ranked
baby.
A.
Come on. Let me get up there.
no.
I
love
feel like
picking
Winston.
I'm
I don't
having
want to put
such
him
a
in
great
S
time with
because I
Winston.
think it's like too high skill to be an S hero. Like I think he's the best hero in the game,
Yeah.
and he like almost always realistically is the best hero in the game. If you're like a high level team, like this hero is the most consistently strong hero in Overwatch for like the last 5 years. But but I think it's just too hard
No,
to
come
realize
on.
that in
No,
ranked.
Come on.
Okay,
Give me this.
it's a ranked tier list. Like, I think when we go to Dallas, I think I haven't been watching scrims or anything like that. I expect everyone to be playing Winston. Like,
Yeah, I
a
think
lot
Winston
of
will be
Winston on a
dominant.
lot of maps.
Yep.
But in ranked, like, yes, a great Winston can really take over the lobby, but once again, you need
need that
some
great Winston.
support
Good luck,
from your
buddy.
team, and your team needs to be like
You
giving
also-
you
yeah,
something. at
Winston
some
is
point.
also not a straightforward hero to understand. It
Yeah.
requires you understanding positioning, understanding how other heroes function, so that you can decide who are you marking, what's your bubble positioning, what's your jump positioning.
Guys,
these are complex. Decisions.
We're talking about top 500 here. I need us to change our mindset here. Okay.
All right.
You're the only one that is Plat. You are the only one that is Plat. We are all top 500, Johnny. All of us are top 500. You are
I'm
Plat.
Masters.
You
What
are.
is this?
Jack,
That's basically Plat, baby. The ego just went insane. It just went through the roof. Like, I cannot be stopped. I will not be
top
stopped.
25 and you got an ego now? Like, who are
Yes,
you?
of course,
I'm
with an ego.
Masters.
How they handed me on a golden platter, Johnny.
Let him talk his shit. You know what? Good for
Oh
you, Jack. Good for you,
God.
Jack. Johnny,
Oh
where are
my
you in
God.
top 500? Let's see you gonna get up there. I know
You
you
guys
can do it.
suck. You guys suck. I'm looking Winston into S tier. I'm looking Winston into S tier.
You're
And
lying.
here's
Okay.
why.
Oh,
I'm
Here's
sure.
why.
I mean, I'm not going to
I'm
argue
using
with
my
you.
luck right
He's
here, right
good.
now.
No, I'm happy with it. I
tired
love
of
playing
this
Winston.
mindset that people are like, oh, Winston is really good, but you know it's a complicated hero. You need to get. How about this? How about you guys get better at Winston? How about you guys
Johnny, I'm better
realize
than you at Winston.
that
I guarantee you I will have a
Winston
higher
is the
rank than you
key-
one freaking
I don't give a
Winston.
fuck. Winston is the key to actually dominating in Overwatch Esports. Okay, we need to practice Winston.
Johnny,
North
I gotta
America,
This is
challenge you.
Overwatch
Europe
Esports.
needs
You
to-
just contradicted
Someone,
yourself.
three
This is
boosts
ranked.
this Jake guy off the call so we can stop yapping. Oh my god! So all tank players out there in NA and EU, get to work. We need. I'm gonna start a movement. We need to practice Winston. We need to become the best Winstons out there, and it starts right here, acknowledging that this is the best tank hero in the game, if only played correctly. So that is my call to all you tank players out there. It's time to get good at Winston.
Is,
This is
wait,
such a good hero.
is
This is
Winston being played in like Korean servers? Like, is it all Winston?
Yes,
yes.
yes.
And
In
that's,
Korea ranked, people play a lot of Winston dive mirrors.
so
It's
I
very
want
common.
I want to agree with Johnny. Like, I think we can all agree we're top 500. We should be better than this. As NA players, we shouldn't be just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go Roadhog so I can win. If we banded together and we like actually agree, like, hey, maybe
some
we all
resistance.
play
We need
the
to
right
change our
things.
mentality.
We have NA players holding ranked as like, you know, just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna try this hard thing. I'm just gonna leave voice and pick Roadhog, and then they're gonna be like, this game sucks. You know, maybe we need to do better as a society. I'm with you, Johnny. Fuck it, put him in S. If you're gonna complain and say
need
Roadhog's
a
better, then stop
hashtag,
playing
Scott.
Roadhog.
What's
know what it'll be,
really
but-
crazy to me is I think Winston, in the context of a very high level team playing together, is like a counter to Roadhog.
Yeah.
Like if you actually know how to play and you don't fight the Roadhog, because obviously you're not going to do well at that, but you like block Roadhog's heals. Winston is like the most consistent hero at like blocking Kiriko from saving the Winston, blocking Ana from saving from saving the Roadhog, blocking all these skills that people hate when they save the Roadhog and they're like, hey, I can't kill him because he's getting Suzu'd. It's like, if you're really good at Winston and you time your aggression well and you're playing around bubble effectively, playing around the enemy Roadhog's hook cooldown effectively, you know when he's vulnerable and when he's going to need a save and you're there at that moment and you block it, you win the game for your team. But there's all those ifs, right? And then those are not like solo considerations. It requires a lot of skill. But for me, despite the fact that the 1-to-1 fighting each other matchup is so bad for Winston, this hero is honestly good against Roadhog in the context of a full team environment. If you think about whole team comps, cutting off the resources to Roadhog is like what kills him, and there's no better hero at doing that than Winston. So I mean, for me, I kind of agree with you, Johnny. I think maybe you're right. Maybe we need to be better.
There you go.
And we need to be.
There
We
you
need to,
go.
we
You
need to
came
stop
around
becoming
to it.
Roadhog players and
Yeah.
become Winston players with integrity.
The thing
You
that's
came around to it.
unfortunately never going to happen anymore because Overwatch League doesn't exist and everybody was playing on NA. All the Korean players were playing on NA, so like all of the tank games were like perma Winston or like perma like the best character for the meta. There was no like, oh, I'm just gonna go hog now. Oh, hog mirror. Oh, all this bullshit. Like that's just kind of an unfortunate side effect of Overwatch League not existing anymore. Is that we don't have all the best players concentrated pretty much in one region. So am I going to
Yeah,
expect
so
my
we need
ranked
to do
players not
better
going to
as
play
a
hog?
region then, you know? We don't need Koreans to play dive, Jack.
Just let
We can
Koreans
play
win,
dive
bro.
on our own.
They're gonna win. No one cares. They're gonna win, and I'm fucking here for
care.
it. Okay.
Yeah, we care.
Well, Gooseway's coming
mean-
back. If he plays an NA solo queue, then maybe that'll change.
We need
maybe
Goose for
that'll
NA
change.
solo queue.
It's the best
We got to
practice.
import integrity to the North
Exactly.
American
No,
solo queue.
here's what's gonna happen.
Gooseway.
Oh, yeah.
Got to import fearless.
No, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go to Dallas, and NA's going to lose, okay? That's what's going to happen, and we're going to lose to the Winston. And that's when I want the top of NA to be like, hey, we need to make ranked a viable place that we can practice dive, because what's happened is they're in the fucking echo chamber learning how to play in ranked while we're just out here fucking zug-zugging playing Roadhog while not in voice, okay?
So true, actually.
we need to step up, okay?
We got to rise above our history as a region and live out the true meaning of our existence of being Winston players.
That's it.
what
I'm
we're all
messaging
meant to do.
Emong
Let's
right
go.
now. Learn fucking Winston, buddy. We're going
There you go.
to Stockholm.
Let's go.
Lock him in.
Oh, it's
Lock
so
him
good.
in.
Lock logo as
Thank
well.
Thank you, Johnny. At least Johnny has the
Winston
integrity
into
to
it.
fight the Roadhog Mafia.
Oh boy, there you go. And as you can see on your little webcams, you have your lock icon left. Show that you have a lock
good.
left.
Wow,
Mine's
wow,
gone.
my
I locked
God,
Winston in S tier.
solid.
There you go. That was my speech. Of
All
the
right,
episode.
Sigma.
Yeah.
Good,
I'm
very
gonna say,
good.
Jake's not only
Hey.
the opinion haver, he's also
gonna say
hosting now apparently. So go.
Yeah, that's
go
right.
ahead,
I'm
Jake.
taking over. I'm taking
Yeah.
over.
Hey, it's easy A for Sigma. He's
Yeah.
just
He's just good.
extremely consistent on so many maps.
A bit map dependent, I will say. Like on maps where the objective is low ground and you want to play
Flashpoint,
high ground is
etc.
bad.
Probably can't play the
Yeah,
Sig.
super mobile maps.
Yeah, exactly.
Even COD is
But-
not the best, but like what's weird about Sigma is like when he's good, he's a monster. Like if
Yeah,
it's like a
exactly.
proper, you can like defend the choke point and that's good. This is the freaking hero, man. Like this guy owns defending the choke point, and his issues are mobility and like survivability if he gets run over. But if they can't run you over, you got a good position and they're not forcing the objective, or your teammates can deal with that, or maybe the objective is actually a place you want to hold, then this hero just dominates the game.
I will say, revert the fucking flux change. Why can
That
I
is
get
heinous.
flux?
It is a heinous
Why can
change.
I get flux
It is so funny.
through a wall? Through a wall. No LOS. Here's no
I
LOS.
don't
And
like
he
that
just-
change.
oh,
Yeah,
he picks
exactly.
up-
I
it's
thought it was like
horrible.
one of the cool things about Sigma that you have to like be aware of it. Like, what if you change
being
the
a skill
visual
shot?
indicator?
Yeah,
How about
yeah,
that?
yeah,
What if you make the visual indicator reflect the LOS of the
Yeah.
walls? So
Dude,
like if
I
I'm
got
building the
flux.
circle, if I'm looking at the circle on the ground when I'm casting it, that like that circle is like there's like shadows in the circle based on where the center is that are there's going to be an LOS here. So it's visually clear to me
Because
where
right now,
I'll
you
be
cannot tell
fluxing.
if you've been fluxed until you get fluxed.
The fact that it could be like a level below you.
I
and you're
had
on
that the other day
second floor,
on
like,
stream.
what?
I'm playing DPS and I'm like on a high ground, not like a super Gibraltar level high ground or anything, but like decent enough. The Sig fluxes below me, and I'm like, oh, like I'm waiting for the circle basically to kind of dash out. I think it was Tracer, and I was like, I'll wait for the circle and then I'll blink out kind of thing. And then I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just like sailing in the air. I'm like, okay, I guess he landed. And I watched the kill cam, nowhere near me. Nowhere
or
near
at
me at all.
least it should
was just
show the visual
below.
indicator that reflects the new. I think the biggest problem
No,
with this is
they
the
should just
indicator.
revert it. Like that,
yeah,
it's just
I
not a
think-
good change at all.
I think the verticality was something that like I actually, if it was in just that where it's like it's only on the ground level and that's when it picks you up and that's the only effect, then I actually wouldn't hate it as much. But the fact that it has that verticality issue and then there's no indicator, I think that's just like
It's not even a verticality thing either, bro. You see obviously the training range meme clips or whatever, but
Yeah,
like
but
this is
I don't
kind
care
of
about
useful
that, right?
here.
Yeah.
But like you can hit people on the other side of walls. Like it's ridiculous. Like this is like 3 bits
Oh,
of
this was
terrain's
the
worth of
engagement bank clip
Yeah,
of the
this
year.
is the engagement bait because
this
I've
is
seen
engagement,
Super
but
do that.
actually, I
This
normally
is
flame training range
like-
clips. This is like realistic. Like if
Yeah,
you're
that's
really
a
good at
bad
Sigma
one.
now,
Yeah,
you're gonna do this.
Insane.
Like
That one is
you're
hilarious.
gonna do this intentionally on Sigma now. Like
Yeah.
it's better to ult like this than it is to ult normally because
you
they
can't-
don't see it
you're
coming.
not even seen. You're not going to get slept. You're not going to get rocked.
Yeah,
you're not going to
yeah.
get hooked. And like it's just
I don't. I think this change is like I see the thought, but I think it's just like
Yeah,
a
I agree.
big miss in terms of like it's way too much. I really think they should just fix the visual indicator wherever you want to leave the ult in terms of power level. They should just fix the visual indicator so that it's reflected on all. Whether it's like if it's gonna hit you across, if it's gonna hit you like this, at least you should see the circle on the floor you are on. Like the Sig might cast it here, but it should show something that is like obvious. Yeah. I mean, like for me, like in the training range, sure you could do some really crazy stuff.
You
but
can,
like
yeah,
in the
you
real
can.
game, you could also do legitimately crazy stuff, like from my perspective.
Surely this was an unintended consequence.
Yeah, I
know that
agree.
sounds
I
like
think
me
that's-
being the biggest Blizzard chill ever, and trust me, I am like 10%.
Yeah,
of
but
that,
I mean, they should
but
revert it. It's like if it's
they
an
wanted
accident, that's
people-
fine, but just don't have this. In
They
the
wanted
game.
people. They wanted support players to not just like hide in a house for like your general Sigma player. Like if you're hiding in like the house on Hollywood Point A or whatever, you can still flux them. The verticality, come on, that was never intended. It has to be like a side effect.
Maybe, but like I don't think you should
like
flux
the
people through
verticality,
walls. Like
but-
I actually don't like even if the change is like fully as intended and it's just like
You shouldn't be able to
ran
flux
around a
through
corner but
walls.
you still
Yeah.
get fluxed. I'm like,
That's
wait,
fair.
why? Why?
You can have that opinion, sure, but
Counterplay. There's
I-
important to have counterplay to an ult. Like if you LOS May Blizzard or like any kind of ult that like has a center point. Grav's not a good example, but like a center point. Then you should be able to dodge out the way, LOS the whole thing, and like you should be able to get out of there. You should be able to get outplayed even if you're using it all. And like right now, like I think RuPaul tweeted like if you're missing your Sigma Flux this season or some shit, you should uninstall or something along those lines.
yeah,
Like,
and then
'cause
someone
it's
missed a
one of
flux
the-
in a face-it match 5 hours
Yeah,
later,
I know
but-
exactly. But
That was
it's from
really
the easiest ults to hit right now, and it just doesn't feel good at all to get hit by that shit. And
yeah.
you're just like
Getting hit when you're like, what? Like I didn't like if you're
Yeah.
especially when you're on Tracer, you could easily dodge it, but you like literally don't know
I
it's coming,
didn't
and then
see
it's
the
like
circle. I was like,
because
I'm just
that's like
standing on
how
the
you
ground.
play against it is you see the circle and then you try and you have like a second to jump out before it pops on
Exactly,
you. It's
yeah.
like that's the skill of playing Sigma is like put the circle in a spot where they can't get around a corner or take the one-man flex. It's legitimately good to one-man flex, get a secured kill, and move on with your life. It's legitimately a good play. Like I don't know that this hero needs this type of a buff.
It doesn't. Sigma's still very good though. A tier, easy clap.
All right. At all times,
Easy
spin on
clap.
Sigma. We got two more tankers left. Diva.
I think Diva's super good. I don't know about anybody
Really?
else.
I think
but
Diva sucks.
I think she sucks.
I think she got mega nerfed. I think she's like the most nerfed of every tank
Yeah, great.
of the recent
Her
change.
damage is
And she
trash
was already
against
kind
armor.
of mediocre.
Oh yeah, her damage is not good.
Her
Her
damage
damage is
against
big
armor.
nerfed. Armor itself is big
It's
nerfed.
bad,
In
yeah.
most cases, armor is big nerfed.
And she has like the most armor out of
Yeah, she's the
any
most
tank,
armor
right?
reliant
She
hero by
does, yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Not only does
I've
she
only
have
seen
the
a
most
couple,
armor, but
and the couple I did see were kind of like rolling. But
I
could
mean,
just a very
in a
small sample
situational
size of
spot
that.
where you're like, yeah, like in like a counter dive, you're playing like basically like playing
Yeah,
counter dive.
I think it
Diva
was
is very
counter
very
dive,
good at
yeah.
counter dive.
I'd
holding
agree with you,
objectives.
Joss, that there are some rank games where I find myself going like, oh, I'd actually kind of like playing Diva here, or like that's a good example. Like if we have like a really like a strong hit scan player and maybe like an immobile backline or something, and we're playing like I don't want to play Winston. Maybe there's a situation like that. But there are also like if the enemy tank player plays Diva, I'm like laughing myself to the bank, and I'm just gonna counter pick this Diva, and I'll just abuse the state of Diva, like lack of movement, and just
I mean,
push
I
them
don't think
down.
you even
like,
need to counter pit. Like everything counters Diva. Like what doesn't counter Diva?
fair enough, but it's even more fun picking like freaking Maug or something and just blowing up a Diva.
Yeah. I mean, Mauga legitimately is fine against Diva.
Yeah,
Probably
Probably
very
should
small
not be,
sample
but it
size
is.
in that regard. But
They
I don't
just
think
wait
she's
out
like
the Matrix and
Omega
then they're just
trash.
dead.
I don't
I'd
think
say
she's bad. I would want to put her in C. Honestly,
I'd-
that's my intuition is C.
I'd want to put her in B, but especially along with Ball, Malga, Ryan, like she's probably on the same tier list as that. I probably wouldn't put her anything
No, I
above
like C.
like JQ.
I'd vote C actually.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you
can
wanna-
see.
you-
I'm pretty
you wanna-
happy
you
with
wanna
C.
lock Diva into B?
I would
think
I would
I think
rather
she's
have a
better
Ryan
than-
in most games. I would rather have a Ryan. Diva
I'd
is
rather
really
have a
good for
fucking-
verticality. So like on your Dorados and your Gibraltars,
Yeah.
Diva could do really well. But honestly, Winston is like infinitely better. So-
Well, yeah, Winston obviously is. That's why he's an S tier. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
think-
true. That's true. So she could. I mean, that could still put her in B. I think part of the thing is that her ult is like unusable garbage. If you
Yeah,
shoot the ult,
of
you're like
course.
90% of the time you're a noob for shooting the ult. Just don't shoot it and use it as a second life. But it's not generally that good. Even when you do that, you're
I
just
think- I
like
think she's
remaxing.
better.
Emon
Sorry.
would like a word.
Nice. Emon just throws his bombs.
Yeah.
I see your games.
If
that,
you shoot the bomb, I mean, I will
face
stand
it.
by this. If you shoot the bomb, you are like almost guaranteed that's trolling. Like you expose yourself. The risk reward is so out of control for shooting the bomb. You are so likely to like. There's a decent chance you die. You become a 150 HP hero. That's so bad. Like that's the consequences of that are pretend. There's no ult in the game that has this much risk as Diva Bomb. And
But
the
you can't
reward
get a
is like
big
if
bomb
you're a
if you
good
just use it to
player,
remake.
how often are you ever killing people with bomb? You should
Never.
just fight and then remake and You remech by bombing in a contested location where you dive in intentionally knowing that you're going to get mech'd, you're going to bomb, and you're going to remech. That's good. That's like how you're supposed to use the ult. But shooting the ult long range is like a newbie bait. Like, people don't really die to that often. Or if they do, they were probably already so screwed positionally. Like, it's just like, why not? Like, you're not a hero while you press the ult. It's like such a big deal, you know, that you're not a hero when you press your ults. Like, every other hero is still doing what they do when they ult, and they don't stop. For the chance to get value on the ultimate. So
I'd still rather have a D.Va over Zarya. I'd have a D.Va with Ball, Ball, Ryan, and Malga in that tier in B. I'd rather have any of those heroes over Zarya for sure. Maybe she's not like OP, but I think still her mobility is like good, very decent. And like you said, Dorado, like very map dependent in that regard. But
on the right maps,
she's
that's fair.
that.
On the right maps, that's fair. She's way more consistent than Zarya, so maybe that does kind of bump her up.
Zarya is like the queen of inconsistency. Like,
yeah. D.Va is much more stable as a pick. I just think she's like stable and relatively low value.
Yeah,
but...
and I think I'd say that for every single one of the. If we're saying like the average ranked player, like Ball, I'd have higher. Like I said before, if it's just like OTPs playing them, which there is. But like with D.Va, Malga, Ryan, I think they're on the same level for sure. I think she's a little bit of an injustice.
I disagree with that. I think if you're ever going to play D.Va, you should just play Winston. Like that's my personal opinion.
But you could say that about literally every hero on the tier. That's like,
no,
you can't really use
that's
that
not
because like
true.
a lot of times I would rather have a Sigma than a Winston. It's like a totally different hero. But
I can't think of a
like...
single situation I would ever want a D.Va over a different hero. Well, I think Zarya, at least there are certain times where Zarya makes some sense. Like D.Va's not like a hard throw. I just don't.
Zarya has much higher peaks but lower valleys. D.Va just doesn't have a peak that's like for me there's like one comp I think D.Va is genuinely like the best hero in, which is like Dorado, and you play like Bat Brig D.Va, and you play this weird like we're gonna hold the card forever and you can't do anything about it style. We're not actually gonna try and kill you, but you gotta kill us, and we're super hard to kill. Like there's like a way to make that strategy work, but that's like I'm describing like one map and one comp, and like I think that's like not, I don't know, the fact that that's like I'm really reaching to think of a good scenario for D.Va versus.
Okay, we spent a lot of time talking about D.Va. We should move on to Doomfist here, because otherwise we're just gonna do the show for like 4 hours.
Doom is booty, real booty.
Well, they sure know
Doom's in
GP
C as well. I don't think he's D. I think if you're a good Doom player, you can somewhat make it work. It's not going to feel great, but you can make it work.
You're just an inferior Winston. It's kind of like D.Va. At least you have some potential, because if people are giving you power punch and you're really good at Doom, you can like make a lot more solo kills. Like D.Va can't do that. But I think part of the problem for Doom right now is he himself is not that bad, but Winston and Roadhog are like the counters to Doom. Like from my perspective, these are like the strongest counters to Doom are Winston and Roadhog in the game. So like the fact that it's like a symptom of the meta type hero, where it's like the meta is just heroes that are good against you, and so everyone's going to be playing the heroes that are good against you, and they're going to be getting used to playing the heroes that are good against. They're not like swapping to counter you on Doom. The meta is countering you on Doom, and so while Doom isn't that weak, he just is in a bad spot.
Yeah,
from a strategy perspective.
Sure. You want to put Doom in C?
Yeah, and I think Doom is a weird hero. Like Doom is like Ball. It's like these heroes are like plus or minus 2 based on your skill. So it's like
yeah.
You know, like if you're like a Doom one trick and you play this hero nonstop and you understand every matchup perfectly, you could get to a pretty high rank on him. But it's going to require that. You're not gonna, if you don't really play Doom, you don't want to touch this hero.
All right. There you go. Tank list done and sorted. If someone wants to say the tank list only, there you go, for convenience. All right, getting into the damage heroes. Bastion, if you want to selectively blow up certain tanks, have fun.
I think this is C tier, right? Like, I think he's like, he is like a counter pick to like a certain tank. If a tank's like fucking you up and you're just like, yeah, well, fuck you, man. You go Bastion, but I don't think it's good.
No.
Someone picks Bastion, I'll just be like, okay, I'll swap around you, and then
he's
I
also
win.
heavily like he like really hurts the armor nerf since he relies on such high rate of fire. So the armor nerf actually hurts him. And then he has armor too. He has, I think, the most armor of any DPS with 100 armor. So he also is much less tanky than he was before. So yeah, those are two pretty bad things. Yeah. I think the hero is what it is. It's like a weird, it's like where it should be, honestly. This is like the right place for Bastion to be. It's like niche correct pick to prevent certain obnoxious counter like styles that are just like super passive. Okay, you can play Bastion, but not that good in a normal game.
Okay.
Cassidy
very
A or S?
I think Cass is really strong right now, and especially because of the Magnate and like your ability to like fuck over other characters.
Fucking Magnate, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just
Jesus.
his gun. His gun is just really stable,
Yeah.
really strong. All his like damage reductions on combat roll and high noon have made him like a much more stable hero.
Yeah.
You can like roll pulse
You're not
bombs and sticky
insta-dying when you
bombs and
fucking
stuff.
hit the Q anymore.
And
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that there
It's
are
not just
counters
reload.
to Cassidy, but I don't think in ranked people are doing it right. Like, I think if you can get really on top of him, then that's a great way to like deal with him. But I don't think that's really happening in ranked. I think a lot of DPS just default to Cassidy because
I mean,
it's
he's
like
the
overall
hardest
good
hit
hero.
scan to actually do that against, to like get on top of him. He's the
Yeah,
most red.
actually,
Well, yeah,
if you
or
try
if
to
you're
get on
counting
top of
Sojourn,
Cassidy,
right?
you're like,
I think the
"Ah,
counter
this
to
is pretty
Cassidy is
hard. I probably need
snipers."
help.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
as a
part of the
tank
thing
player,
for
I'm like, I
Cassidy
need
is like
help
with
dealing with
Hanzo
Cassidy.
and Sojourn not one hitting anymore. That helps him a ton. So like Widow for me is like the true counter to Cassidy, but Widow's just a massive.
He has the
hero,
HP
so.
buff still, right? The extra 25 or
Yeah.
not
He's so
extra
tanky.
25 anymore, whatever the fuck it multiplied to. So yeah, he's like very tanky. He's just
Plus the
the
roll on Pulse
consistent,
Bomb is
the
kinda crazy.
mid-range. Like
He also has the perfect damage type for the armor nerf.
Yeah.
yeah, the mid-range has become like such a scary place now. Like it used to be all about like long range hit scan, like Ash, Widow, like Soj and shit like that. But now everything's kind of like shifting towards like if you can sit in mid range and like survive, then you're a fucking god, and you just tank. And Cassidy just tanks damage as well. If you got good healers, like holy shit, good luck taking him down like in a fair fight. And like I think he's Magnate too, like shutting down so many picks. Can be very hard for even Winston if people focus him too. If he does get magnated, normally good Winston plays won't let that happen, but like if he does, then you're gonna die.
But I
pretty
mean,
fucking
even
fast.
just fan the hammer to break the bubble quicker
Yeah.
than most DPS can is a big deal.
would you guys want to see a slight Cassidy nerf?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
maybe.
would reduce the damage reduction on his roll. I think I think the damage reduction
Yeah,
is like
it's
a
quite
little
strong.
obnoxious right now.
Yeah, sometimes I like have a fully charged rail and I rail the Cassidy while he's rolling and he just does
Yeah.
nothing and I'm like, okay, that's a
You
little.
can also just
feels
reduce
weird.
the HP to where he was before.
I think that might kill him though. I
Yeah.
don't have a problem right now with Cassidy being good. Like I think if
Yeah.
you make Cassidy bad, people are just
Fun
going to go back
character.
to playing Sojourn 100%. Like I think I'm
Yeah.
fine with Cassidy right now. The only thing I would change is the roll
Okay.
damage reduction.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, or like make it a
that's fine.
longer cooldown so it's
Yeah,
easier to play around.
something
and
like that.
punish.
Yeah, just
Whatever.
he doesn't need much, just something small.
Yeah, some like I would say a small nerf. Any hero in S tier should probably be getting a small nerf.
Yeah.
Except
Or a
Winston.
big
It's
one.
okay
Except
for Winston to be meta.
Hog.
Yeah.
We like Winston. Gig enough.
Winston is just not ever going to be meta for anyone below like Masters, I'll say. It's just like too non-linear of a hero. It's not, it's just like, and too mechanically intensive to be like a hero that ruins the game. Because
I love
like a
Winston.
low skill player, like when the worst thing that can happen is like low skill, zero coordination heroes dominate the game, but Winston is the opposite of those things. So
Yeah.
it's just like, you don't, it's unless if Winston's meta for like 2 years straight, okay, like we can nerf Winston, but
Maybe.
I don't think that's really
We'll
gonna
never get
happen.
there.
Winston is the most fun thing. It's not, you can't be mad when the Winston gaps you. You're like, well, he just fucking owned me.
Yeah,
That was my
yeah, and it doesn't suck to lose to a good Winston either, because you're like impressed.
You're like,
oh,
you're
that's
kind of like, you got to
goodness
put
of
some
me.
respect on the name. When the Winston owns you, you're like, well,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that was a great bubble. Oh, that was a good
Yeah,
primal.
yeah,
All
that
right,
was- yeah.
Genji.
B or C?
I
Not
think
that
it's
good.
B or C. I
Not
just
that
think
good,
he's
but not the
kind of.
worst.
I think he's not good against the Winston and the Roadhog. Like I think
Yeah.
that's the kind of the issue. The tank matchups are pretty bad for him. Winston's just very good against Genji, and Roadhog. Like Genji doesn't really do a lot to Roadhog, so it's kind of like, and the Magnate kind of fucks Genji up as well. So
Yeah, I think Genji's pretty okay against Cass of all the heroes in S tier,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think the tanks are too good against you right now. And then Genji is like a hero that punishes multiple snipers, multiple greedy flex support backline, and that's not really what we're seeing right now. Even stuff like Kiriko, although it's not like good against Genji, I think Kiriko is just like
Is it the wheels?
Not that
the
vulnerable.
tires.
The tires.
All right,
Jaws
Genji
was
and B, Jack
expecting
can't stop
tires.
us.
Yeah.
What do you
Get him
think?
out.
B or C? I would say just.
I
know.
kind of want
I
to say
honestly
C
think
because
C,
like I think it's
It-
C as well.
He's
I think
so
it's like high C.
eclipsed by other flankers, so
Yeah.
it's like really hard to justify playing Genji ever because I'm just like I should just play Echo here if I want what Genji offers. Hanzo.
I'm not the right guy to ask. So
I think
I'll
Hanzo's a
lean on
D
you,
tier
Jake. I'll
hero,
lean
right?
on you,
Hanzo,
Jake.
yeah, Hanzo, yeah. C, it's like C or D. I don't know if Hanzo's worse than Bastion, but I mean, maybe. Hanzo's pretty good against Roadhog, though. Actually, I mean, I think the meta is actually kind of good for Hanzo, even though the hero is not strong.
Yeah.
The meta is actually very good for him in terms of like the heroes that are strong. He is very good against all of the heroes we have in S tier. Like Sonic Roadhog is one of the best things that DPS can do to Roadhog to make your team see where he is.
I kind of want to put him in D tier just to be like, this hero needs love. Like, I think this hero just needs some help, like in like a big way. They need to like, and I think a lot of people have speculated there's probably a rework coming. Like they kind of killed him, or just kind of like, yeah, like we just don't want to deal with the frustration of it.
I feel like C though. I don't think it's. I just don't believe that he's actually a D tier hero. Like in terms of like, I just don't think it's.
I tried.
Do you
Hanzo
think
mains God, Jake.
Yeah.
Like I think Genji and Bastion are like probably I'd be more likely to play Hanzo than either of those heroes. I don't know if Hanzo's better than a tier above, but I just feel like it wouldn't be right putting him a tier below, from my perspective.
Yeah, you could be right. I don't know.
Did the ultimate change do anything?
It's nice.
It's high level. It doesn't really do anything. But
it's so marginal. It's super marginal. The ultimate is still garbage. So I just give him a new ultimate.
And those ultimates are like you have to move out of the way. I mean, they're obviously going to be better in like lower tiers where people don't react and move out the way as fast. But
I mean, the end, the speed buff is going to make it like harder to react to. So if you don't have mobility, you actually could get caught by this. I don't know. I just think that Hanzo. I think Sonic is very useful right now. I think Storm Arrow is very strong. Everyone focuses on the normal TTK with like, oh, I can't one-hit people. But really, you just play around Storm Arrow, right? Storm Arrow's lower CD. Damage. It's very, very strong. If you don't have Storm Arrow, you're just chilling and poking and spamming. You're not going to get as like one-shot kills while you're doing that, but you do pretty good like pressure on tanks, just like spamming headshots into tanks. It's pretty good. Like breaking shields, you're pretty okay at that. I think I don't know. Like I think the hero's like not that bad. It could be better, but so can other heroes. I mean, yeah, for me, just tier-wise, I can't justify making him worse than Genji and Bastion. For sure,
Jake's
I would
way
play
more
Hanzo
passionate
over
about
Bastion.
this than I am. I fucking put him in C. Like I just think this hero needs to change.
I love Hanzo. I would love to see Hanzo buffed as well. I just don't know if it's D tier.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, Junkrat. Did you get the tires?
Okay, the Junkrat buff is big actually.
The tires, they're getting delivered tomorrow. It's all good. They made me pay the fucking fee, bro. What do you mean? Did you deliver?
okay.
If you say, give me a delivery date, then it fucking... Okay, just let's go back to the list. I'm going to get too fucking pissed.
Junkrat, guys.
My car's
Junkrat.
finished.
We're at a very important juncture here with the Junkrat hero.
That hero fucking sucks unless you're a
Junkrat. That's my
I feel
take.
like Junkrat, the buff where he two-shots with the left click is actually pretty legit. Like, the spam kills are back, actually. Like, because you two-shot with your left click. That's a huge buff. Like, and then throwing the trap long range. I was playing some Junkrat the other day. I'm not gonna say too much.
Of course you were.
I'm not going to say too much. I was trolling.
Junkrat one trick, and they asked me for a duel, and I was like, all right, bro, I'll lock in, and I won. I gapped.
Damn.
So you know what?
Yeah,
that made me feel like Junkrat was a pretty okay hero.
Jay can't stop winning.
Unless
Swing
you're
at
an
life
OTP.
every day.
Then
I mean, it's kind of an OTP hero, but I
Yes.
think that changed. Like the 5 damage on the primary matters so much for two-shotting with spam. Two-shotting with spam is a big deal, like a really, really big deal. And that's like a marginal change, but it also improves all of your spam damage and your tank pressure and everything. Your gun is now it's like way better against armor because Junkrat has 0 like scatter shot damage. All
Thank
high
God
nuke
this
damage.
hero is not meta because I love getting one tapped by a junk. It's very fun and interactive.
I mean, I honestly think this hero is like B tier right now.
Yeah,
I
I'd
feel
be
like
happy
it's
to put
better
him in B.
than the other DPS we have in the D tier. Like
Sure.
for me,
I mean,
genuinely,
the
I
only
think
people
this is
playing him are
stronger.
OTPs and you, Jake, who you were
I
also
mean,
almost an OTP.
I'm also
so-
an OTP, so it's all
yeah,
good.
also an OTP. So yeah, I mean, I'd put him in B definitely. Like, if it was like everybody's playing junk, I'd probably have him lower. But again, it's like the ball thing where like only the good players are playing him. So
No, but
Let's
I
see
mean,
it in the next
I
Faces
think
match,
it's good.
Jake.
We've been playing it a ton. We have Gurkmeister on our team, so we play a ton of Junkrat.
right.
Actually, we
Right.
lost every
Gurk.
you
game
have
though.
Gurkmeister. Oh, the Gurk. No way.
Gurk
fucking
owns on this hero.
Gurk,
He's
bro.
different.
He does, yeah.
I've been learning. I've been watching him play, and he does some cool. I've been trying to adapt. Some of his
Studying
techniques.
Gurkmeister.
I've been studying in the lab.
Dude,
Like Junkrat
my
players,
God.
they should just invest their time into becoming good at the game because they're actually so good at the game. They just fucking play a shit hero that like nobody likes. Like they're
they're so
actually
good
like
at
very
that.
Speak for
mechanically
yourself.
talented players.
I will say the
should
most
just
frustrating thing about
invest in
Junkrat
Gurk.
still is the fucking tire, is the perma-stuck
Tire is
tire,
sick.
and just like,
Bro, I
I'm
fucking
gonna
hate
pull it.
tire. Don't get me
against the
started
wall
with
for
my
like
rear
30
scared.
minutes.
It's like the
It's
fear
so
creeps into your heart. You know,
stupid.
that's what I thrive on. I thrive on that. When
feel
you get
like it
scared and
lasts
you
for
start
20
hiding and I come
seconds.
for you.
It does, dude. It lasts for like 3 minutes, dude. I swear to God. It goes to OT, and I'm like, this is a 3-minute fucking tire, bro. I'm sitting there
have
like,
PTSD. The
yeah,
world
dude,
slows
it's
down.
terrible.
Your heart's beating so fast.
The bombs are coming. The fucking tires are coming, bro. Like
It
it's
is
so
like an aim check though,
terrifying,
because if you're
man.
like really good at hit scan, you just shoot the tire.
yeah.
So I would say get good.
God,
Alright,
it's so
moving on to
annoying.
May.
May.
It's a B tier.
Be
A
a
like,
very
I think-
again, it's probably B because it requires a certain comp. i.e. the Ryan comp to make it work. But when it does work, it fucking slaps and it's good on
does.
play
certain
with
maps.
But for
Queen
me,
or
I
Ramatra.
think
Queen as well,
actually,
yeah,
This hero's in a
actually, yeah.
very bad spot in a way because I don't think people really play this hero anymore at the high
Yeah.
level.
No,
Like,
no one
you just
plays,
play
no.
Tracer instead. You just play Rush with Tracer instead.
But is that
Or
a
like
Tracer
Venture
problem, not a
or-
Mei problem?
I think it's. I mean, Mei historically was a dominant choice in the Rush comp. I think. I don't know. The hero feels really good. Like I am biased because I feel like Mei is weird. This is what, even though I don't play that much Mei, I think Mei is like my best hero. I like feel like whenever I do play this hero, I just turbo own. So, but it feels strategically weak. Maybe because Kiriko is so strong. I think Kiriko and Lucio are just very strong right now, and those are the two hardest counters to Mei in the game. So I think the meta is just very bad for Mei. Even though maybe B is okay. B is okay.
I think only B because when it works, it fucking works with the
Yeah.
right comp and on specific maps, like a lot of control maps that have very small choke points where you can just kind of run at people and like it just works so fucking well. But if you're playing like very open maps, long range maps, etc., it's just not that good. Yeah, so when it works, it works. It doesn't. I think she's not like a Sigma where like she's OP, like extremely
even
strong
on the
with those
good
kind of
maps,
maps.
you could genuinely just play another hero and probably. Do better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think C because when she does work, she fucking rolls. So
How about Pharah?
Yeah.
okay, how do you guys feel about Farah, like the new jump pack and like being mobile in the air? I still think she's kind of bad.
It's
and
really
I still
fun.
Think she
It's way more fun
requires-
than old Pharah, but she's not that good.
I
Yeah,
still
she's
think she requires the mercy. You know, everybody was saying like, "Oh, you need mercy. You had to play mercy, right?" But now it's like, "Oh, you don't need her. No, you could just play her solo." It's like you play a solo, she fucking sucks. Like you just get rolled because like gamers look up challenge impossible. But like normally in a lot of FPS games, that's not really a thing. Like elevation is very powerful for one specific reason. You can fucking look down and shoot them. But like with Farah being in Skybox, or not all the time anymore, at least. You still need to be in a different dimension where your rest of your team are, so you have to like distract yourself and shoot them, go this way. And with the heroes like Lucio, like Kiriko that are meta, it's like, who the fuck's it, like Ilari? Like, who the fuck's shooting the Farah and healing her? Like, absolutely nobody. So, like, just because some supports right now are just not that played, I just don't think the hero's that good. Unless you're like one-shotting people, like diving in fucking boom with a rocket and stuff, like, great, but you're not getting past a hit scan. Like Cassidy exists.
Yeah, I think the problem maybe is hit
just
scan Tracer
lose.
is just still too good against her.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's too
just-
easy to hear coming. I think like at high level, people are like paying attention to audio.
You still
cues,
need the mercy, in
and
my
she
opinion,
doesn't-
and I just
unlike
think the character's bad.
Echo can like sneak up on you, and I think Pharah
Yes.
just cannot really sneak up on you, and that's like a huge problem.
Echo's burst damage is also insane.
I mean,
you
Pharah's
can-
burst damage I think is just as good as Echo's, if not better, from like just that aspect of the character. Pharah's very good at burst damage,
Sure.
but she's just too easy to see coming and to like answer and respond.
The
And then
consistency
in
of
and
Echo
tur- or
versus
in and
Farah
out
is just
yeah. At a high, I mean, the thing is, what's
night and
interesting
day.
is at a low level, I think Pharah is like way better than Echo because Pharah has way better spam than Echo, and
Sure.
Echo is actually, from what I've heard, Pharah is like Echo's really bad at the low level because she's such a glass cannon. If you're not
Stickies,
abusing like
figure out it.
like coming from off angles and being tricky with your movement, and you don't like really the movement's kind of weird to use on Echo if you're not experienced. So yeah, I don't know. Pharah for me is like probably C.
Yeah.
Probably C.
Yeah, I think she's just a C niche here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
niche.
Not the end of the world though, like not unplayable by any means.
Yeah.
If you're up against a very good hit scan Tracer, yeah, it's garbage. But
I think
like,
it's good for heroes to be in C. I think that's a very, very good place to be.
Yeah,
Ideally,
D
you're
is
not
the
in
danger zone for heroes. Where D
well,
is like detention for
you know,
when you've
that's
been
fine.
bad. You've been
Arissa
Arissa,
Hog-
you've been very naughty.
Bad Arissa.
Exactly.
Go
and
to-
I think
go
that's
to D
actually
tier.
this is a good place for the game to be in because when we saw metas, look at the Junk Queen meta when Junk Queen first came out, like the Rush meta, JQ. And it was just only those heroes, and like only those heroes were S, and then everything else was like B, because like you can't really touch those other heroes. But like
I
now
think the
we're
game
in a
is in a,
patch
is in a
where
pretty healthy spot. Meta-wise.
exactly
A lot of
when it's in a healthy
strategy
spot, I think being in C is extremely good. Like you can still play them, especially in ranked, and like
Especially
you
if
can
you're,
get
if
away
you're
with
very
that.
good at the hero, it's
Yeah,
okay to play a C tier
exactly.
hero.
You can get away with those heroes. Like D are reserved for the heroes that should never be meta.
Oh,
Hog and
we
Orisa.
got a D tier hero coming up next though. I think.
Reaper? You think Reaper is D tier?
Yeah,
I think
this
it's
hero
like
is
this.
hot trash and high.
Yeah.
high
Even
level.
with Hog meta, you'd think like, oh, the tank buster, like, but like Hog just sits there and fucking
Hog,
looks at
well,
him.
the Hog
And
is like
it's
a
just
counter to
like-
Reaper, actually.
Yeah, you could just hook him and fucking
like,
instant
yeah,
kill him.
exactly. Being stunned is like the worst thing in the world. Stunned with burst
Yeah.
damage is like the scariest thing in the world on Reaper. Like, if you, I mean, yeah, you're tanky. If it's only Hog, you'll live his combo, and then you'll Wraith and disengage for 10 seconds. Okay, that's
Right.
not like, no, you have like some strong play
He
to make, you
sucks.
know. Like I don't. So this hero for me, he's super nerfed with the armor. Armor is like way better against Reaper. Just yeah. I
He
don't
is
know,
a
this hero
red
sucks.
flag hero, though. That's the thing. He is on
Yeah,
the list
yeah.
of
It's
being.
like it's
If
sort
he
of a
is too
low-skill
powerful,
hero.
holy shit, this thing is stupid. Like, oh my god, this
In
should
the end,
be
though,
nerfed.
I could
Like,
see Reaper. Reaper could get. I think what they should do is they should buff the way the one-trick Reapers play. The one-trick Reapers at high level do like the assassin play style, where they like
Right.
play solo and go for like 2-shot kills on the back line and then get out.
Yeah.
And like that does work at a high level if you're very, very good at Reaper. And I think they should buff that. I think they should buff the TP.
I think it's
like,
buff Swift step 100%.
Yeah. I think the TP is the thing that gets buffed. Because if you buff Wraith or like raw damage or health, he becomes the
It's-
like,
yeah,
give me
it's
all
the
the resource
unkillable
and I'll
demon
stand
king.
behind Ryan and I'll just eat everybody. Like that's
Yeah.
not that good, or not good for the game. I mean, but so I don't buff him being like the resource hog, but give him more flanking mobility options, more trickery to make plays.
You want Reaper to be in C tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
I don't want
for
Reaper to
sure.
be A, but like C, yeah, I think it should be like I think like being as viable as Bastion. I think it should be better than Bastion. I mean, Bastion's like a cheese hero. I don't really think
It's just
Bastion's
funny how the
something
hero
that-
is like designed in a way where it's like, this is to melt tanks because tanks are up close, and then it's like he sucks.
The problem is Bastion just took
against
his job.
tanks.
Bastion just straight up took his job because
You hit
Bastion
the
used to
shift
like
and then-
literally not move, which is a little bit of a problem. But now that
think
you
that
can
was
move
awesome.
on Bastion and even jump around with the nade, it's like such a better hero.
Lex-
They should do a
Lex says
remix
in
where
chat-
they bring back old Bastion. Actually,
Give him a smoke bomb. Says
No,
Lex in chat.
oh
no.
my god, no, bro.
Smoke bomb.
Give him brimstone smokes. Give him 3 of them, and then you can plant them on the
Give him
map.
flashes and smoke. He's just
Yeah,
a Counter Strike
exactly.
character. No, I think Reaper. If you made the Swift step either silent or like a smaller distance audible, like outside of a small radius, literally silent, I think would be
Kind of
kind of
interesting.
cool.
Shadow Step is a pretty cringe ability.
I mean,
So,
yeah, but like,
in this
so
day and
Reaper's a
age.
cringe hero. You could just play Lucio and boop him, and he's like,
No,
he's
I'm
done
saying,
for. You
I'm
know?
saying
Shadow
Step
Step's
is an ability
cringe.
that
How
could
is Shadow
definitely buff
Step
that.
cringe?
I'm saying that like when I compare it to like other movement abilities in the game, I think that Shadow
Yeah,
Step is just an ancient
I
ability.
mean, think about how
Yeah.
bad it used to be,
right,
where you
yeah.
were standing still at where you TP'd to for like a second, and like every
Yeah,
hero
it
in the
was
game
so
can
bad.
kill you.
Death comes.
Yeah,
Yeah, to me, as I
Shadow Step.
TP.
yeah.
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 Okay, moving on to Soldier.
B minus.
Yeah, I think he's just a flat
Yeah.
B. Like he's not that
Soldier
good.
is like B is the exact perfect place for Soldier. Let's
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
honest. It's like
Yeah.
it is like the solo. It's pretty good in solo queue. Like healing yourself is
He's
pretty
okay.
good. He's pretty good against Cassidy, but like pretty bad, I think, against Winston and Roadhog. Just getting jumped on, or just like Roadhog just doesn't really respect you. So yeah, it's okay. Flank, use your
I
heal
never
to be
thought
distracting.
I'd be in this
but-
spot in 2024, but when I see pro players roll out with Soldier on Busan Sanctuary, I'm like, oh hell yeah! Like I can't wait to watch Merit play Soldier.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah. Soldier's
It's
fun. I mean,
genuinely so
it's
much fun to
different
watch.
because it's different.
Yeah.
You know, he's not dominant.
Big flanks running around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I still play the hero a lot. It's a lot of fun to play. I think he's in
Yeah,
a
so
fine
do I.
spot.
It's actually really fun to lock in. Like, and you don't feel like you're trolling.
How about Symmetra?
Another
I think
niche May
just
type
sat in
hero.
straight
but worse
C tier,
than May.
right?
I think C. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
He's
worse
like-
than it's so team
Kinda cool.
dependent.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you get sim players who are like absolute bots. Like if you don't, but like the sim experts are always gonna make this hero work. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe though. I think even for the sim experts, this hero has gotten real bad. I think the not two-shotting with the right click is like really good because that's insanely stupid. Having that right click spam be like good is so dumb for a
Yes,
hero that does
so
everything that sim
stupid.
does.
During the one shot through the bad window.
Yeah.
you
Like
just-
that is like
That
I
shit
don't
was
like
so
get it out of the
stupid.
game. I don't
Yeah.
automatically get it out of the game. So Sim at C is like just right for her. She's gonna be an insanely good hero when you're like London Spitfire, Space Station Gaming,
Yeah, sure.
and like perfect macro TP everyone, make use of the skill. Then it's obviously gonna work, which is like perfect for the hero. But it shouldn't be stable and dominant at high rank play where. Yeah, her coordination should
Okay.
be her strength.
Okay, let me cook. I think Torb's okay. I think
No,
actually
I think
Torb
you're
is
just
pretty decent.
fucking
Okay,
cooked, bro.
I
Like-
think Torb's pretty decent.
All right, A or
He
B,
could-
Jack. A or B.
A or B?
Plant your flag. Plant
Show me
your
the
Still
list.
flag.
has
Solomon,
the
bring up the
lock.
list.
He has a few Jaws heroes. There's a few Jaws heroes left in the pool,
fucking
but Jaws still has the
delusional,
lock.
bro.
This is. I guarantee Jack's gonna use his lock on Torm.
Yeah.
I'm not using my lock on
there's
Torb.
Torm's
I'm
D
not
tier,
hero.
Jack. Torm's D
There's
tier.
another
No,
hero.
no, shut the fuck up, Jake. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'm trolling. It's not D
I
tier. It's not D
think
tier.
I don't want to put him in there. I think he's B. He's definitely not C. The thing is with Torb, right? You can't get you can get dove pretty easily.
What do you
actually.
mean
get
he
rolled,
can't
you get rolled
get
in long
dove?
range.
Like, what the fuck are you talking
However,
about? He has a
he's
hitbox of the
pretty
size of a fucking
defensive.
planet.
No, but you hit E and then you get over health and you run
Yeah,
faster and then you
congratulations,
also
the
right click
Cassidy
quicker.
fucking shoots you in the
Turret angle,
head.
the turret angle.
Yeah, that's why he's not. That's why he's not S.
I think
B,
Torb is like consideration for A for me.
No, bro.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
I
don't know.
would
I mean, hear me out, hear me
C,
out.
B. Okay.
Do you think it's C? I mean, I
know
think
B.
Torb,
I
number
think
one,
I'll give
Torb
it
is
B.
being played right now at the highest level in Sig comps. So when you play Sigma and you're gonna play Midtown first defense or Hollywood first defense, I think Torb is like a serious consideration for
You have
the
to
meta.
respect the spam.
Yeah, I think the spam is pretty
output.
good. I think the shotgun is like nasty. When you start shotgunning into a like you're playing
You hit
Sig,
E?
the enemy really
Boom,
wants
boom,
to play
boom,
Winston. Because so Winston's
start
historically
blasting.
the counter to Sigma, like super fast dives, punish Sigma. Since he lacks mobility, he can't get out of the bubble. He gets his heals blocked, and he can't sustain. He doesn't have much HP. But Torb is like really good against Winston, and so it's like it actually kind of fits really well into
Your
the Sigma comp.
hitbox is huge as Winston, and you just hit. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you
you
just
hit E,
shotgun
and you
and
just start
poop on him.
fucking meat shotting him,
Yeah,
bro.
you
and
go
you just
into the
can't. You
bubble.
can't survive. Yeah, you always fight in bubble as Torb. Always throw the turret in there as well as a distraction, like throwing your pistol in Valorant around a corner. You're like, whoop, just throw it in there, and he's
turret
like, oh shit,
flashbang.
what's going on? The turret flashbang, and then you hit E, and then you start
I
rolling.
don't
your
agree with
Winston.
the turret idea, but shotgun is pretty good against Winston.
Yeah, or you could put your turret in like a good spot, Jack. I don't know.
Yeah,
that,
or
that
the
could
turret's
No,
also
I
also
use
in a
turret
good spot
flashbang.
and
I
be
panic and
poking.
use all my abilities actually.
Just like rolling his face
I think
across the
Torbold is
keyboard.
also pretty good against Kiriko. Has a good,
Yeah, it's pretty
good
good.
value. Could be good against Winston too when he's like committed. You're playing in a room, you like lava your whole team in the room, and then their dive has to back off. Like
He's at B minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
will.
with B,
I will
yeah.
give you high B. I am not going to concede and put him in A. I think
That's
in
fair,
it.
that's
I
fair.
think the thing is like yes, in these certain niche situations, yes, he could be picked and we could see him in pro play. But I think more often than not in ranked, I would rather
He
just
is more
have like a
niche,
lot
yes.
of other heroes.
yes.
This is the niche. This is the niche list, right? It's ball, fucking Malga, junk. Like all
Yeah,
these,
yeah.
a lot of these heroes are fairly niche, but actually decent
Dude,
and not
B,
like
B is crazy actually when we look at B. The ball,
Yeah.
Mauga,
But
jump.
I
It's
think
a
the
good
silly
list.
heroes are like pretty. I mean, Torb is like, yeah, this is the right place for Torb for me.
Yeah.
and
that's
no one
funny.
plays against fucking Torb, and then no one expects the damage. I'm just saying.
Okay, you ready to move on to Tracer?
Tracer, let's just put it in
That's
S.
it,
We
just
all
put it in
know.
S.
No,
Well,
we've had
we
this
all know
discussion
why.
too many
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
It doesn't matter how many times you nerf that character, and they hardly nerf her, and it doesn't matter what they do. She's
It's
always
because she's
super
garbage
sick.
for anyone but the top. Like that's the
Yes.
problem with this hero. It's too high skill. It's
And
like
you
the
need
skill floor
heroes like
is,
that.
is like negative, and the skill
Yes.
ceiling is infinite. It's just like the variance between high and low is way too high, and so the hero that like it's same for Winston. It's why Winston is going to be always.
Yep.
Probably should be a broken hero at the highest level. The skill, the ceiling is so high, the floor is so low. The definition of healthy balance. So yeah, Tracer's an
It's
S,
so-
but no one's upset about that.
One of these heroes is not like the other in S tier.
You gotta just
Extremely high
accept.
skill.
You gotta just accept that as like a DPS player, I've moved on from the. I've had a phase where I didn't want to play Tracer. I moved on. You know, you just play Tracer if you want to
Yeah.
be good at DPS. You play Tracer.
You need to play Tracer. Like I think that this is like a constant right now. If you are trying to be a good player in top 500 and you don't know how to play Tracer, you're literally just like inting your rank.
you're trolling,
Like you
you're
just
trolling.
need to be able
It's
to play it at
2024.
some point.
Play Tracer.
Can't
you
get
one-trick
away not
cast.
knowing how to play
You
Tracer
gotta
anymore.
grow up and play Tracer. If you you can be hit scan one trick and then you get another hit scan one trick and you auto lose that game. So like you need to be able to. If you're the very good hit scan player who can actually play Tracer when you get another hit scan player and you have a good team comp instead of double hit scan, which is garbage, then yeah, this is. I mean, Tracer's so good.
Okay. Well, Jake, you were on a big train that Venture was going to be the alternative for Tracer. Do you
I'm
think
gonna
Venture's
say
there?
I think Venture is A tier, especially after the patch. Especially after the patch, I'll say A tier.
I haven't seen enough of Venture to be
I
fair.
mean, I think
I've not
we
seen
just
enough.
haven't seen the potential of Venture because I don't think people understand the hero yet, and I think we haven't seen it played professionally. But I think this hero will probably be played in Dallas if
Really?
you want to play full dive. I don't think it replaces Tracer, but I think in some rush comps, I think it's actually very good at like. It can work as it's like much more competitive as a Tracer replacement in a rush mirror, and I think there's the option to play full dive with both Tracer and Venture to punish and kill Hitscan and BAP and any kind of like relatively vulnerable backliner is gonna have a bad day when Winston Venture Tracer goes on you. Like the potential of having another hero like Tracer, like if you could play two Tracers, dive would be meta forever because you would play two Tracers and you would play dive with it. And this is the next best thing is having a Venture Tracer.
It also helps that they are very survivable too with the shields. Like you don't need to hit abilities for those shields to come up.
Yeah. And so even as you're moving around and then
little
the
absurd.
flexibility they've added with those buffs, I really think this
Yeah.
hero will be at least A tier after that patch. I mean,
and anything with
we have to see, but,
survivability,
yeah.
anything with survivability, damage resist, or anything like that is infinitely better as well after this healing change, after like the DPS passive change came in too. Like anything that can help your healers out and just give
Potential
them
to
a little
stall
bit
car
more
with another hero that can stall car as
Right,
probably
yeah.
longer
Oh
than
my
Tracer,
God, yeah.
realistically. So,
That
like,
was the.
but
I
this is
played
only
against one the
relevant
other
at the
day.
highest level. People don't really do this.
Holy
in ranked.
shit! The stall is insane. Like
Yeah,
I forgot. Obviously, we didn't see much of them because they instantly got nerfed. But like, I was like, holy fuck! Someone stalled the payload for like it felt like 10 minutes. Like they were just
That was
underground,
me.
and it was like that was you. It was just underground. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? It's like just get me a shovel, bro. I could go to
let me
B and
dig-
Q and
let me
buy a shovel, come back, and
Get
then
out
I
of the
could
ground.
dig them up. And
You gotta
yeah,
play
it's-
Roadhog. Roadhog is a
It's
shovel.
crazy.
It's a shift
Yeah,
ability.
that's so true. Wait a second.
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
the heroes-
working. I was working collegiate this past
Potentially very
weekend,
good.
and Rocket played a little bit of Venture in the tournament. I actually played on King's Row, which I thought was quite interesting.
Makes
like
sense.
playing on like
you want to
King's Row
play
Port B.
small,
I mean-
like super wide open, like very very long range
Yeah.
maps. Maybe you won't play this hero, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
and maps with like a lot of cover
I'll
and
tell you
tight angles.
Peninsula.
This hero's very
You played
scary.
it.
The combo is very good.
It's
too,
very
just
scary to
in
clear
general.
corners against Venture. You have like very high risk of getting one shot, or at least Tracer is like you're gonna have to recall, and then Venture is like full HP. Like you really get owned in the trade if it goes bad for you. I think the ult is not great, but it's like it's pretty good, and in some scenarios you can just like chop through tanks or like make them all scared and run away.
You can just pop
and
it on the
shields are
backline
good.
as well. Like if
Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
playing
yeah.
a
You just
fast
pop it to
backline,
get
you
one
just
kill,
pop
two
it and
kills.
just,
Yeah.
kill the backline.
Make your dive super threatening.
Okay, Widowmaker.
B. I think it's
Yeah, I think it just has to be
hero.
B,
I think it's like
niche.
the best hero in the game when it's really good, and then other times it's bad.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's.
It's not good enough for Jaws to justify locking in Widowmaker every time.
I
play.
will lock
try.
Widowmaker every chance I get because the hero is fun as hell and it's one of my best heroes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, on your Jungle
One of
Town,
your best
Dorado, Gibraltar, this hero's dominant, right? It's probably
I
going to be
play
perma-pick, but
King's Row, and I play it. I do not give a shit.
I'd much rather have you lock Torb than lock Widowmaker. I'll just
first
say
I
and
will
third,
lock-
no, first and third, Widowmaker's
Third?
broken.
Goes crazy.
Third King's Row is legitimately one of the best
Yeah,
Widow.
you
Every
have, like,
time
the
I
most
jump out
defensible
left
spot.
door, I try to hit the brain clip, and then I never hit the brain clip. I only get one headshot, and
Because you
there's no
shouldn't go
two
out
to
left
follow.
door because left door's kind of
I
trash.
know it
like,
sucks.
most of
It
the time.
really sucks. Yeah,
Yeah, it's risk play, because if you get forced out,
Yeah.
you just go back to your spawn.
Yeah.
Sombra.
it's good. I think the hero is good. Oh, Sombra. I meant Widow, but
Yeah,
don't know
no,
about
I think
Sombra.
Widow's where she should be in B tier.
Yeah,
If she's
yeah.
better than B,
I think
that's a
it's good.
problem. It's just a map hero. Certain maps, Widow maps, whatever. Circuit Royale.
I think Sombra's kind of just because of how fast.
I feel like Sombra is
play
like
right now.
C.
I
B,
would put
C.
C as well. Yeah.
Maybe because Cassidy and Tracer are very good. Winston, I mean, honestly, all the meta heroes are pretty good against Sombra. Maybe Sombra's
Yeah.
good against Venture, but that's like
It's very easy to chase Sombra down. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, you
she's
are behind
a
us.
lot less
Oh.
secure and safe than she was before.
Yeah.
EMP is still a monstrously powerful
It's good.
ultimate, but it's just much the consistency of Sombra. I feel like her peaks are actually even higher now, but her consistency is so much lower. From she was the most consistent hero. She had like you could have 0 deaths in a game you lose on Sombra. It's like heinous.
Yeah.
But now it's much more of a normal hero, and C tier is maybe the right place.
I think it's good. I think that's where Sombra needs to be.
Yeah.
In C. That's perfect spot.
Wait,
for
the
them.
game is balanced? That's crazy.
How about Ash?
It feels it.
I think
I
Ash
think
is
Ash
B.
is pretty B.
Yeah,
Pretty B.
I think there's a time and place for for a good Ash player. Like being able to
I
play
would
on
almost
silent.
be like on the cusp of A.
Yes,
but I think
I think she might
Yeah.
be able to get there because man, again, it does feel very map dependent. But then at the same time, I'm like, if you're playing Ash on certain maps, I'm like, you could maybe just play Widow. I don't know. I don't think she's that good because of how fast things are right now. So yeah, probably B. If things are a little bit more slow and we saw more Sig play and more Ram play, I'd probably have Ash like up a little bit more, but I think if we don't see more Sig, we're not going to see more Ash, so it kind of makes sense for them to.
Yeah, a lot
they're
of
like
people
hand in
play
hand,
Soj or
shaking
Cassidy
hands.
just
We play
over
slow.
her.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. It's weird because she's in a weird spot where like I think Soj and Cassidy are just way stronger for like the faster pace, and then
Yeah.
Widow's better on the slower pace. So you need like a slow pace map that's not that good for Widowmaker, and there's only a couple places where that's really coming out. So yeah, about B is about right.
Yeah, beef about right.
Okay. Echo?
I think Echo was A tier
I don't know.
actually. I think Echo's pretty good.
I would say like
I think-
maybe top B. I think
Yeah.
Echo can get kind of just like ripped out of the sky by Cassidy, but like if you get the space, you kind of just like kill everybody.
I think your spam is really good, and then you have a way better assassination playstyle than like the other spammers because you're actually like very hard to hear and you can sneak up on people. I think Copy's one of the best ults in the game because you can be a second tracer,
Yeah, right.
which is not as broken. You can break the rules and have 2 tracers. That's attractive. So yeah, I'm not even kidding. I think literally because you can tracer copy, makes the like for full dive. I think Tracer Echo is like best in business. Maybe Tracer Venture, but yeah.
We have 11 heroes left, and you guys still have 3 locks. So this is gonna get really interesting as we get
Well,
to the
mine's-
support
yeah.
heroes here in a little bit. But
What if I don't need a lock? Maybe I don't.
yeah,
You
maybe
know what?
maybe you don't need the
I'm
lock.
just gonna convince
Maybe
you guys.
Coward's way out.
yeah. I mean, you seem to. Yeah, we've gone through this list, and you seem to be pretty on point with all of it. So no contrarian points
Which
from JK so
agreeable
far.
guy.
I'm good at my job. I'm good at my job, Johnny.
Yeah, you are. All right,
Sojourn.
Sojourn.
S tier.
A tier.
I would
tier.
say S actually. Still.
Yeah, this here is
S tier?
definitely S tier
Okay.
still.
I think it's weird because it's like maybe because of the ranked factor. I would say Cassidy actually feels more stable in ranked than Sojourn.
Yes.
But
I'd say Cassidy's
Sojourn
probably
has
better
like
than Sojourn.
the potential is crazy.
The
ult
higher
is
highs-
crazy.
The ult is just
OWCS
dramatically better
level
than Cassidy.
is just fucking absurd. I'd say.
Yeah. So like in a way, Cassidy can struggle against a really
Yeah.
elite Sojourn player. But like for me, I'd rather play Cassidy because I feel like way more consistent on that hero. There's so much pressure on you to hit a headshot rail to make Sojourn really realize her potential, and it's like kind of scary to like have all that riding on one shot. It's like more stressful than Cassidy. You can like you 2-shot people, but you can try 10 times, and Sojourn gets like 2 chances, and if you fuck them up, then you don't really do anything.
But
And so-
Sojins can just win the game as well.
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
the
you
problem with
ball
ranked.
high
Is like,
potential
the whole
is
team, yeah.
as high is probably higher, honestly.
It's higher
than
than Cass
Cassidy
for
and
sure.
Tracer.
Cass is more of like you're just more consistent across the board, but Sojourn, if you're hitting shots, the highest levels, Sojourn's going to be better.
Yeah. So just
further
a
you go
weird
down,
hero. Where,
Cass
honestly,
is-
even elite level ranked, I'd probably say Cass is a stronger hero. But
Sure.
then there's like professional level. I feel like Sojourn might edge
Yeah,
out
I mean,
a little.
Dude, Shy's back in the game, baby.
Like me, I'll
Shy's
pick
back in
Cass
here.
every time unless like although to be fair, in ranked, because like in pro play, I almost always prefer Cass right now. But then in ranked, with how good Roadhog is, I think Sojourn's actually one of the best DPS just because you get so much value off the existence of a Roadhog. You're not really countering Roadhog, but them playing a Roadhog is feeding you rails, and that's a big deal. So you get more chances than normal. So maybe the Roadhog's dominance is going to bring Sojourn back in rank to be like another. Like I was playing the other day and just playing Sojourn to Roadhog. It's like I'm not killing the Roadhog. He's too tanky for that. I'm pressuring him, but mostly I'm just having way more chances to rail because he exists. So and he's like easy to get away from as Sojourn. So yeah.
Okay, there we go. We got the damage heroes added in there. Pretty decent distribution. Love to see it. Feels pretty good so far. And now we're moving into support territory. And Lifeweaver, guys. I've seen an uptick in
Not
Lifeweaver
D
here.
tier. Not D tier.
I actually think this hero is B tier. Like I actually think this hero is quite difficult to play against, especially in a Roadhog meta where like it can be
God, yeah,
really
that's a
hard.
good
And if
point.
you just leave the Lifeweaver alone, like I think the big issue is like if you dive Lifeweaver, the hero is actually not that good. Obviously, they have pretty good survivability these days if you play it right. But like if you have a good dive, the Lifeweaver will die. But if you let the Lifeweaver just do whatever the fuck they want and just heal people up,
The healing
they
is
get
crazy,
tree so fucking fast.
Yeah.
They save people all the fucking time. And I actually think it's very difficult to play against. Who was the player? Aesthetic? I can't remember who they are, but they got to
Daleth? I
champ
think
playing
Daleth
Lifeweaver.
is
one
the
wasn't it Daleth?
Might be a Smurf, but I think it's Dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be Daleth,
Yeah.
but yeah, there was someone hit champ.
When I
playing
play
Lifeweaver.
with them,
Lifeweaver only,
it's,
yeah.
it's actually fun because when I play with a really good Lifeweaver player where I know they actually like really know the hero super well, I'm like pushing the limit like a crazy person. You know what I mean? I'm on Echo and I'm like into the back line with no skills, and I'm just like trust, which is like only for the very best Lifeweaver players. Otherwise, I'm like just gonna rely on the heals and not actually push the limit. But it is kind of cool to be able to like go beyond the limit. In a Roadhog mirror, you could save your Roadhog when they fuck up, and like no other hero can do that actually. At least in the Hog mirror where your Hog's getting pulled super deep. Lifeweaver is like, generally I don't think Lifeweaver is all that good against Hog because I think pulling on like a hook cooldown is not that consistent. But specifically in the Hog mirror, it means your Hog can take way more risks because if he fucks up, he's gonna get saved.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really do any damage to the enemy Roadhog. So the enemy Roadhog, if you're getting turbo dominated in the Hog mirror and your Hog just gets hooked again, then yeah, you're out of
just
saves,
lose,
you know.
right?
So it like sort of not a perfect counter, but I agree. I think B tier. I think this is the best the hero's ever been.
Yeah. It is interesting because I definitely read as well that in lower ranks people have like a genuine problem with Life Favor as well.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, because
so
it's a
annoying
heal
to deal
box that
with.
does monster stats.
Yeah, and
So
that's
it's
so
funny
good.
how it's like, I'm not gonna say it's like good in like pro play, but you can extract value the way you're saying, Jake. You can extract a lot of value with like great pulls, but in low ranked, they're also extracting a lot of value just because the sheer healing stats.
I think, yeah, sheer healing. I think tree. I mean, the tree is like the type of ult that is actually like really bad at the highest level because you can just kite it and it has zero potential to not be kited. Like at least Kiriko ult, it gives you a speed boost and cooldown amp. So like potentially it could be hard to kite, or they could stand in the very edge of it and still shoot you. But tree is like very, very kiteable. So at like the highest level, you tree, okay, we back out and we just AFK for 10 seconds.
I just need to add the Sigma change to the tree. The tree heals verticality. Oh, don't worry about it.
God.
Tree heals through walls. Yeah. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Here you go,
wicked,
Joss.
sick.
Here you go.
Okay, I think Malari's not bad.
I would like to use my lock. I am coming in with my lock.
What the fuck? How do we sort this out? I'm gonna counter lock. I'm gonna
said
counter
it
lock.
first.
No,
I've
fuck
been
you.
holding my lock for this fucking moment, Jack.
Oh my god. This guy.
Larry
Tom's
goes in the C tier. This
He
hero
saved
is
the lock to screw over
trash.
Jack. To
This
stop
hero-
Jack from putting Ilari in A tier.
This hero is trash. Okay, yes, you can do a shit ton of damage. Yes, there is a lot you can do, but the ultimate is like useless, like
Oh, it's
most of the
dog.
time,
It's not
especially into
good.
Kiriko. It doesn't do anything. Most of the time, it gets eaten or blocked by something.
Or I
it
just
doesn't
hit
do
walls.
anything to
Yeah.
Roadhog. I think you can do a shit ton of fucking damage, but like the damage is most of the time meaningless. Like, you know, people are like, I have 15k damage as Ilari. It's like, good job, you shot the hog for a lot of the game. The guy didn't fucking die. You know who
Playing
else
with the
died?
wrong
The
Ilaris,
rest of our
bro.
fucking team. Yeah, and like if they kill your pylon, if they have a good tracer who recognizes that when you put down your pylon, if they
No,
shoot it or people
it's
shoot it, then
actually
it fucking dies.
if you kill Pylon, GG for
hero's
the Ilari,
garbage,
baby.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
hero
it's
is so
good.
bad. Like, fuck
The hero
you,
also
Scott.
consumes
Like-
space instead of creating it, so it's really sometimes it's really annoying. I'm a DPS. I'm on
I don't think it's that
Sojourn,
bad. Why is it
and
so
I'm like,
slow?
oh sick, my Ilari's standing in the hit scan spot. I guess I'll go fuck myself. Like you know, like what,
Wait, what was that animation, Solomon? Did you just make a custom animation for the lock?
Fuck's
Wait,
sake, bro.
didn't you get to rank 22 playing Ilari with J3?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
mean-
Rank is
Yeah,
good.
I got-
Wait, no, I'm
Rank
not. I'm not
22
doing
is
this.
cool.
Custa,
yeah.
no offense, Custa. I think Joss might have a better Ilari opinion than you on this.
I popped off actually on the Ilari, I will say. I don't think
How
the
do you do
hero.
it?
I just shoot people.
it's the
That's
perfect
it.
hybrid of Torb and Widow for
Yeah,
Jack.
it's
Yeah,
because,
literally.
like,
Waiting
it's-
for this
it's-
hero for
I
years.
just shoot people.
Yeah, seriously. Like, if you put your pylon in a good spot where, like, someone has to, like, overextend and, like, over peak to try and kill pylon, it's, like, so fucking strong.
Or
but
they
the thing
play
is,
Tracer.
yeah, or they play Tracer. Although, he hit a Tracer in the head, yeah, so they're fucking recall. I do think the hero has got some merits to it. Do I think Alari's strong? No. I don't think that that's strong at all. The ult is so fucking dog shit. Like, if you manage to land a big ultimate, if it doesn't get Suzu'd, like, good players, they're hitting up the rest of the team anyway, and, like, you can't trigger that explosion. When it does go off and it explodes, it's, like, the most satisfying noise in the world, and it goes crazy, but, like, you just can't really do much else. Like, you really need, like, a full follow-up. The best kind of follow-ups I had with, like, Ilario was, like, a ball going in or a Winston going in at the same time. I land it on the back line. If it doesn't get Suzu'd, or if I get one person, that person insta dies. But, like, getting that to happen is pretty rare. And Pylon, yeah, like I said, it's hard to place. It's been really fun playing Ilari because finding pylons is like finding turret placements with Torb, just like the opposite, where you don't want them visible to the enemy
Super
team.
easy because you can build them on the ceiling.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
it's
the
really-
range of the pylon's crazy.
The range of the pylon's insane. I do not think it's C.
It's crazy,
yeah,
and the
but
enemy
fuck
doesn't
you.
have to
Where would
see
you
it to
have
make it
looked
good. So.
only a little bit up.
There we
Does
go,
not
from
put his
Vogtson.
pylon in good spots. I watch the stream. Shut the fuck up,
That's because
Vogtson,
he's
motherfucker.
so
Hey,
focused on
oh,
you know,
No,
killing
I'm
people.
flinging him, dude. Oh, a trigger with Ilari too. Like, if you know they're gonna hard push, just fucking insta delete your pylon so you get the cooldown back. That was the biggest like
Yeah,
thing that
intentionally
I.
breaking it and falling back. So that
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can't
That's the biggest thing
damage
I
it.
kind of like started to learn as I was playing the character more. Because I was like, I'm gonna play this character until I get like a decent rank on the character. Luckily, I did. But like, it's so easy to like forget your pylon exists, and then as soon as someone hits it, there's the 12-second cooldown, and you're fucked. Basically,
This hero feels
also,
really sick when
don't use
you
all
have a
your heals at
tracer and
once.
they don't.
Yes.
Don't
That's why I
use
feel
all
like
your
this
beam
hero.
heals.
This hero is like crazy if you have a tracer and they don't. Like, because your tracer is like
Yeah.
harassing them in the back line and they're trying to fight tracer and then Ilari's poking them. It's like crazy. But if you're in a tracer mirror, you get turbo pounded by the other Tracer because she's getting support and you're not. So like it's a major at the highest level where you're gonna see Tracer almost every game, and like their Tracers end up fighting each other on the flank. Whoever has a better Tracer position, the Tracer with a weaker position will just force the 1v1. And if you don't have any support, aka you have an Alari who's not gonna help you because realistically she can't, unless very very high level, you might intentionally play to hold your Alari position or something. But
Right.
you know, like the problem is it's just not natural to support the strongest heroes in the meta. Like I think it's kind of good with Roadhog though, like in that style of just pure poking. The problem is though, if you have like, if you really really need a Tracer because you are gonna rely on someone protecting your flank, like you can't do it. Whereas like Lucio and Bap and Kiriko can like deal with the flanker coming through onto them. Illari like sort of can, but not really. Like you're basically gonna, a good player will just like break your turret. They won't. Maybe you like you said that you can headshot them, but like it's just not all that realistic. You're just super vulnerable to getting run down by like
you
a
need very good
player.
aim with the character. Like you're gonna get fucked on. Also,
And if you don't hit a shot right away, you're gonna die. Like the Tracer will just full commit.
Your pylon gets like tagged with damage, like
you lose
that
the
is. Yeah, it goes on that big CD, and that is so fucking annoying.
So
like,
Tracer
you
pounds
have to be
because
really...
Tracer's the best hero in the game at breaking.
Exactly, right. And like you have to be really quick and like removing your pylon, then replacing it somewhere else. And also don't use your fucking heal all at once. Save like a minuscule, like a 1 pixel line of your heal on the beam, so then it doesn't have to go for the full fucking weird recharge animation. So so you can insta use it again.
Jack, I just want to let you know, this is how the one tricks talk. They're like, no, it's fine. I can play around it.
This season, I was like, I want to be good at this hero because the hero is fun as fuck.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it shows that this list is in a way is like flawed because any of these heroes, like if you're like an insanely good Doomfist player, I mean, hell, the insanely good Reaper players get high rank. Like, you know, it's doable.
Exactly. Yeah.
I actually think this is the best place Alari's ever been, probably since she came out, other than when she first came out, when she was like fucking doing like 1 billion damage. But like, I think the reason I put her in C tier is because I'm just fucking traumatized from last season when I played with Jaws, and Jaws would just like
what the
insta go Alari and then just fucking die over and over again. And like
good.
in my game,
I'm good with Alari.
So that's why I'm fucking with Jaws. But I actually think she's probably deserves to be in B tier, because I actually think she actually has some of the best skill. You can like carry the game as Alari, like one of the best heroes that you can just win the game as support if they don't do a good job of countering you. If you want to like start Alari and then they counter you and then you switch, that's a good way to play. But
there were times where I was like, this hero fucking blows and I have to switch to like, there were times where I was like, I was just going to play Lucio on the Flashpoint maps. I just play Lucio because another support's like looking something else, or I play the other support. I try not to play Kiri. I don't know what it is about Kiriko, by the way.
Yeah,
I just
you just fucking hate Kiriko.
I just don't like playing Kiriko. I don't know why. I don't think I'm very good at
I like winning the game, so I like playing Kiriko. So.
Yeah, I know, right? I just rather play Lucio in that matchup, even though my Lucio is like not that good. But yeah, as Alari as well, the amount of damage you can output, like if you just play like ever so slightly aggressive, your shift, if you just like tap it, this is something, dude, I learned this so late into playing Alari. It's insane. But like tapping the shift is different from like holding a long press and like depending on like how far.
More distance.
Yeah, more distance and like vertical. I was like, I'm like, I'm getting this wrong. Like I'm doing something wrong here. And it took me so long to realize that. But like if you just short hop away and then you can like almost b-hop around corners as well. Like Quake Done had a really good video where he was like actually b-hopping as Alari, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, like most abilities that pick you up that aren't jumps.
Yeah, you can bounce on a surface.
Any ability in the game works like this, by the way. If you do not jump before casting the ability, so you shift off the ground and then you hold jump as you're hitting the ground, you get a b-hop, which means no footstep noise, which not that relevant on Alari, but also it like conserves momentum. Yeah.
You maintain momentum around corners. If you can do that consistently, it's super good and you can get out of so many situations. Also, you can dual support DPS as well. Like that was my favorite thing to do, is like dueling Cassidys and dueling Ashes and shit, because my pylon is hidden, they can't see it, and I'm just like boop, 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 and they're trying to kill me and they just can't. And it's really frustrating for them to deal with. Like you said, if you're just kind of a good player, you'll fucking destroy the Alari. Like the hero is not like insane, but
it's like a super greedy hero for me. It's like if you get away with it, this hero's great, but when you're getting punished, you can't deal with it.
And in a ranked setting, that is very good.
But exactly, it's like Roadhog. It's like Roadhog, right?
Exactly.
Carry the game.
I do not think she deserves to be in C tier. Where would
you have locked Alari?
Fuck you, Scott.
Well, we can't go back on this, Scott.
Where
would you have locked Alari, Joss? B? Okay, fair enough. All right. It wouldn't have been that awful. So, okay.
No,
all right. Let's go into Hano.
I'm gonna say A for Ana, maybe S. Honestly, maybe A because Kiriko kind of.
I think she's coming back.
I feel like
think
Ana,
if
when
Winston's
Winston
good-
will be meta, maybe
Yeah.
Ana is meta too.
Yeah.
But so could Lucio Kiri could be played with a Winston as well. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
like
she's coming
Ana
back.
a lot. I think Ana's really fun right now. I think she could be S tier given the meta. She's really good against Roadhog with her like cooldowns. Yes, it gets countered by Kiriko with the
But you're
Suzu, but
forcing
at
the
least you're
Kiriko
forcing the
Suzu,
cooldown. Yeah, so
and
Yeah,
Nano's very
that's the big
very
thing.
good against Roadhog
Yeah.
in general. Nanoing like a DPS hero to just turbo pound, or your Roadhog gets nanoed, and when like they hook your Roadhog and you nano him and he goes crazy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's
there's
like,
a
oh,
lot of
your
potential.
Roadhog, get hooked, I'll nano you as soon as it happens. And then he shoots them on the pool, and then he hooks them, and then shoots them again. Like,
Right.
they just
Sojourn
fucking-
Nano is like illegal powerful
Yes.
combo.
Yeah. It's like the forbidden combo. That no one-
Skyle had an insane Ana game in the collegiate grand finals against Maryville, which, you know, I mean, that's freaking Luminosity. Like, that's a really good team. And Skyle had like incredible maps as Ana. So that was a pop-up performance. They were
I
playing
was a
Ana
little bit
Brave.
hesitant
Yeah.
to think Ana was good, especially after the heal change, because she's every other healer can like do other shit while they're healing. Ana can't. Like Ana, you just need to pound someone with heals. You can send off the occasional shot to try and like tag somebody, but she doesn't have split ammo like Bap does, like Kiriko does, where you can do damage and then you can weave in damage every now and then with your heals and shit like that, or you can do the other way around.
Yeah.
So I was
But
really
Ana can also heal more than she needs to, so she
No,
often
exactly.
has
Like,
time to shoot because
but
she's
that's
just
why I
healing
was
so
initially
much,
very
right?
hesitant in like saying that she was decent, because it felt like a struggle. But now just being able to force Kiriko cleanse and like Ana just being kind of ridiculous with Nano, I'm like, man, I'm thinking near S. Like she actually might just be OP. Like
In
I'm
ranked
happy to
though,
put
I
her in
feel
S.
like Ana's a much less stable hero in ranked. Ana
Yes.
like requires a lot of team support and awareness because she has
needs
no
the
mobility.
peel.
So I feel like
Yes.
for me, like the ranked factor of this tier list, I wouldn't put Hog in S if we were talking pro play, and I probably would put Ana in S. But I think for
yeah,
ranked,
sure.
Ana,
I think A's fine.
yeah. So that I feel like those factors for me take her off of S. Even though I expect this hero to maybe be better than, actually I don't know, better than Kiriko, but
No.
probably same tier as Kiriko in pro play. Ranked maybe just a little bit less consistent because you really do need your teammates to like play properly. Like you might be in the best position on Ana and your teammates are just noobs and they don't really pay attention to where you're standing, and they're like you can't heal them. You have to get out of your good position to go to a shit position because your teammates don't know how to play. And like that's a big problem where Kiriko can kind of, you know, go heal people and then back up and she's okay.
Scott, do you have more of an Ana opinion before we move on?
No, I agree with everything that's been said.
Okay. All right. Lucio then.
Just S.
We've got just
Yeah,
S,
Lucio.
like,
He says.
he has
Overspeed boost
speed.
character. Yeah.
Ain't no way this guy can move faster than everybody else.
Like it's especially more prevalent these days when you have now push, control, and flashpoint. Like these are all maps where
Yeah.
like speed is
Speed is
just
good,
so
yeah.
important to be like. Even Jake said like, especially towards lower ranks, like you don't need to be speed boosting in fights that much. Even heal amp is like really strong. Like for your team, you can do like little bits of speed boost, but like just being able to move your team around between fights is just so important.
Yeah. Tempo. I think beat is an insanely good ult defensively. I really hate watching pro play when some people beat aggressively. I think that's like almost always wrong. But like beating defensively is so sick. It's like the enemy ulted and now we have, and I ulted, and then we have a big advantage. Like you use the Sojourn ult, I don't care. I beat, and then you have to do something else or you lose. Like that's a crazy tempo swing. There's very few ults in the game that are like reliably defeat the initiation ult and add more pressure. It's not like even like something like Kiriko is like if the enemy OCs and you Kiriko, it's not like that good. It's like, oh, this could work, but it's a little scary. Like Sojourn can still one hit me, you know, or like basically one hit me, you know, with a little help from her team. But whereas the beat is like so stable, so strong when you use it reactively and you just like shut down their ultimate and then put the like they come in with their ult, they think they're strong, they're pushing in, and we beat. And now we've turned the game on its head, and it works almost every time. The only risk is getting Ajaxed, but realistically, that's like
You can play
shouldn't
around that,
only happen in super coordinated high level teams, or you're just not that good at Lucio if you're just Ajaxing and no one's
It's gonna
pressuring you.
happen from time to time, but like most good players are gonna mitigate it. Like most of the
Because you
time.
can just beat around the corner and then
Yeah,
slide
yeah.
around the corner and still get the beat on people. So it works for super pro games because the Lucio would like enemy Lucio boops you in the air, but guess what? The enemy Lucio is like the one who's causing the Ajax more than anyone else.
Right. As you get higher, people are like planning around Ajaxing the
Yeah,
Lucio
they like
player
go
as well.
for it.
Yeah.
But like in ranked, come on, like that's pretty rare. That's
Yeah,
like
that's not
some
gonna
elite-
happen. Yeah,
elite
very
level
rare.
ranked.
Yeah, Lucio still has the biggest impact on like how a game is being played in a ranked setting. Like when I queue into a game, like if we have Lucio, I'll play one way, and of course because you know any other hero doesn't have speed, but like it'll drastically just change the way I play tank. And
At
like
the same
way
time, I
approach
think
my
it's very
games.
hard to like carry on this hero. You need teammates who actually
Yes.
understand how to use Lucio to make it that effective.
I think that's like a big problem with Lucio, like playing Lucio in ranked, is that like you are really at the mercy of your tank player and your DPS player. Like, yeah, you can do damage and you can have picks and you can make plays, but for the most part, like you're not going to have as much impact as a Tracer or a Sojourn or anything like that.
The more you lean into having individual impact, the more you're just like not your regular impact is garbage. Like it's just so much better to like have your aura on 5 people for like 90% of the game, and then like a little bit you have like the opportunity to make a cool play and get out. Like that's big. Like the Lucio who recognizes that 10% of the game, catches those chances, but isn't forcing it when the chance isn't that good. That's like the best Lucio, right? Whereas if you're like, I have to carry this game, I'm going to be like leaving my team all the time. Honestly, don't play Lucio. Like just do another hero like to do that.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to Mercy.
See?
Okay. I
Maybe
think this hero is C, but I actually don't think this hero is terrible. I think the meta is just really bad for Mercy right now. I think Roadhog hooking people away is like, you know, you can't
Puts
res
them in
when people get
unresable
hooked.
positions
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
die. Yeah.
And then like Winston and
that's
Tracer
true.
are both really good against Mercy. Like I think High Noon is like actually like really good against Mercy because it takes away your ability to just like hover in the sky and heal everyone. So like I think the hero is just in a bad spot right now, but I actually don't think this hero is like
Mercy should be C at
terrible.
the highest level.
Yeah.
I think that's like, I mean, I don't know if anyone on this podcast is going to disagree. Maybe some people overall would disagree. It's just in the end,
Jaws can lock Mercy to D.
Yeah.
Fuck that hero.
yeah.
No, Jules,
I mean,
if you were really trying to meta, you should lock it in S. So then, like, everyone's like, "Oh, the hero's not that bad."
Oh, no way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Plat Chat
yeah,
says
yeah.
Mercy's S. The devs aren't listening to us, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
Nerf Mercy.
all right. Mercy,
Remove
I
that
think
res,
there's
bro.
not going to be much
Yeah, it's
contention
fine.
on Mercy. I don't think it's as bad as, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is as bad as Reaper, but whatever. It's winnable if the enemy team's not that good. It's winnable.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're like, you can kill
You
it.
AFK,
You
you
can
do
still
more
just
shit than
pocket your
Reaper
Sojourn
can,
and
bro.
find value as well. Like,
Yeah. If you're pocketing a very good hit scan player, you know what? It's still going to be okay.
Yeah. Let's move
And
on
like
to
a good
Kiriko.
Mercy is like actually pretty hard to kill if they like min max all the movement and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Kiriko,
I,
guys.
Kiriko's
I think
S,
Kiriko's
bro.
just S tier. Like,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
Just monster
especially in
hero, works
ranked,
in
like,
every
Nothing's
Who did?
changed.
yeah, like I think
Yeah.
just the ability to just like you can do damage, you can be aggressive, you can play
Yeah.
defensive, you can heal bot, you can just like land a single high value Suzu, and it's like the hero's just so
Suzu's
good.
Dude,
not
I'm
that
so
much
over
nuts.
it.
The thing is, this character has the best ult in the game in terms of like potential power.
Yeah.
This is the highest power level ult in the game, like by so much. Like what is even close to this much power? Maybe
Yeah.
window if your whole team shoots through it, but that's not realistic.
That's not
Like,
happening.
I actually hate
Kiriko
how
ult is like
strong Kitsune Rush is.
legitimately all 5 players can use it. Most of the time you cast it, every single person can use it. The counter to this ult is run away, but that is hard to do because they
They're
could stand at the
faster.
very end of the ult and they're still getting full value on it, right?
Yeah.
Unlike window where it's like when it's in place, it's only exactly one spot. Kiriko ult is kiting it is like the correct play at the highest level, and it's relatively difficult. You basically need speed boost and like things to go right.
Thinking about it, it actually just gives like
Gives everything.
abilities and ults from like everybody. So it gives like Mercy ult damage blue beam almost because you're doing more damage because you're firing faster. You got Lucio speed. It's just like so much bullshit on top of each other.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just
CDR
insane,
and,
bro.
and attack speed is
CDR,
both damage
attack
and
speed.
heal.
Exactly,
right?
you're doing more healing,
It's
more
a
fucking
reset
damage, more fucking
supercharger on
everything.
steroids.
Yeah, well, exactly, right? Yeah, I mean,
That can't be broken.
That can't be broken, bro.
It's
and
no,
you're
yeah.
playing
The,
it.
the ult is just too strong. Like
Maybe
I
you
don't
make it so that you can break the gate. How would you feel if
Shoot
the
the
gate
gate
went up
like
and it was
tree?
breakable?
more breakables.
Yeah, more breakables. Let's
I mean,
let's have another
genuinely, I
token.
don't think that would help because it would just bait people to try and
Yeah,
fight it when
yeah,
you
that's
realistically
true.
shouldn't.
You
Like,
should never fight that out.
or it's
I
like
thi-
so.
I think
Like, are
it's
you
too
gonna break
strong.
it within
Yeah,
1
nerf it.
second? Because like they're gonna kill you within 1 second if you're standing on it. You know, like
No one is worse when their CDs are off cooldown.
yeah,
quicker.
it's like just inherent to
No one is-
Overwatch.
no one
Attack
is
speed is
worse.
good. Yeah, like
I don't
More
know if it's a
damage,
hot take.
good.
CDR is good. That's very.
I
good.
think Kiriko should be a C hero.
really.
No, that is-
Yeah, no,
I think
no,
the
that's
fact
like
that
a
her
hot
damage
take.
is so headshot gated is like kind of resolves the fact
I mean,
that her
maybe
healing
Kiriko
is
is like C in like lower tiers or whatever, but like
I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't like how strong Kiriko
I don't think
is.
she's that
Like
good
I
at
think
lower-
it's bad for the
lower
game. Like I generally think Kiriko should
But
be a
shit,
bit more of
okay.
a niche support hero than like a mainstay.
I think her
always picked.
healing is
I
too
don't
high.
mind Kiriko
For
anymore.
her damage output, I think her healing is too high. Her ability
That
to
is
just
true.
like very easily point and click at someone, like they can do a lot of fucking healing. Like they can easily do over 10k healing per
Yeah, that's true.
per
You can
10.
be like you can be a main healer.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, I have no like, and that's kind of the problem with her Kiriko is it's like there's no weakness to Kiriko. Like, there's other heroes. It's like Life Weaver does a shit ton of healing, but they don't do any damage. Like, they're not giving you any offensive capability. While I think Kiriko is just like, there's no situation where I'm like, Kiriko is bad. Like, I will always just default to
Pretty much
Kiriko if
always
things are
okay.
going wrong.
There could be better picks. Like you could get more value on BAP in a certain comp, but like
Yeah.
Kiriko's never a garbage pick.
I just don't want to live in
Maybe
this
in
current
full
reality where Kiriko is like the best, one of the
too
top
bad,
two
buddy.
supports.
Well, ever
Too
since
bad, buddy.
Overwatch 2 came out.
Yeah.
she's
I
good.
think
It's
they
just
should
too good.
nerf her cooldown on the swift step. I think
Suzu.
it's just a little
All
bit
the-
too quick.
I
Because,
think they should reduce the range of it. I think the range.
yeah,
is
maybe
a
the
problem.
range is fine. I mean, either way though, I think it's like what this hero should be is a hero with like very good escapes, but when she uses her escapes, she's vulnerable to being punished. And I think that window, if you make that window a little bit bigger, then that's more doable. Like you make the Winston jump a shorter cooldown than the Swift step, then like, okay, Winston can like have a tempo lead on Kiriko and like chase her after one jump.
Every factor of her kit just needs an ever so slight nerf.
Yeah. I don't know if she needs a rework. Just stats are a
Suzu
little too
increase
good still.
cooldown, Swift Step increase the cooldown, damage on headshot, reduce it a little bit, healing output, reduce it a little bit, maybe up the ult
I
charge
don't feel
rate
like the
or
damage
something.
is all that problematic.
No,
I
maybe
agree.
not, because
Since you don't two-shot anymore.
You have
that,
to
when it was
right.
two-shotting, I was
Right.
like, this is messed up. But not two-shotting,
Sure.
because they didn't buff her damage, right? When they nerfed everyone. So it's like she got
that's
her
true.
damage nerf from the Season 9 patch.
The
Even though she's
Kitsune Rush
unchanged,
is out of
right?
control. She should just not be
mean-
an auto loss to run away from Kitsune Rush. Like it
Yeah,
should give
Kitsune
you an
Rush
edge.
is also should just get stat nerfed. Like, I don't know, maybe nerf the CDR, nerf the attack speed. I mean, they already did, but like original Kitsune Rush was a fucking freak show. That thing was like,
that was
do
great.
not contest this.
Remember
You
when
will run.
people were beating into Kitsune Rush and it was just like an instant
I,
lose?
like I was like I
anyway?
remember that year when it first came
Yeah.
out, I was like really like fighting in Outlaws. He'd be like, I was like, coach, I was like, do not fight this ult. Don't beat into it.
Yeah.
Run. If it's
remember
okay to
that.
beat, run when you beat. Continue to escape. Use the beat to secure the escape. I'm okay. I will be okay with that. But if you beat and attempt to fight into this, I'll be mad because it's not enough. Like the Winston has 2 bubbles. The Reaper's shooting at fucking Mach 10. Like you aren't gonna win with a beat. You're gonna get smoked with beat. Even now, I still think that's true. I don't think you can beat into this ult.
I
And
just
think
remember
that's kind of a problem.
I remember talking to people at the grand finals after the 2022 grand finals, and that was the one where Dallas Fuel beat San Francisco Shock. And I remember like talking to a couple of like high level coaches, and they said like one of the big reasons that San Francisco Shock ended up going on to lose that is Finn's Kitsune rushes in some of those maps just weren't as good, and like
Yeah,
it's
when-
such
when-
a high tempo ult back then that it like literally just like
When
cost
I
them
VOD
some
reviewed it,
fights.
it was like, oh yeah, he got his Kitsune Rush baited a bunch. Like,
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh, they're not full committed, and because they're not full committed, they're
Right.
instantly retreating when you
Yeah.
ult, and then your ult gets no value because everyone knew how powerful it was and how good it was to run away.
Yeah.
Like because it's you have your own coming up next. So yeah, if they ran away from you, so you really want to create these scenarios where like, yeah, we're capping the cart. What you gonna run? Like like that's the scenario you want. And I don't think strategically Shock wasn't on that same level.
Yeah. All right. I think we agreed on Kiriko there. Moving on to
Zen.
Zenyatta.
I think I want to
I
see
love
Zenyatta
playing
has
Zen.
1 week
Yeah,
in
Zen's
Season
the
I
best.
nine.
play Thor,
He
I
might
play-
be
I
B.
love playing
Yeah, yeah.
Zen. Zen is like, that's my guy. That's my dog,
He's fun as fuck. He might
Yeah.
be B though. Like actually.
I'll say, yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I
I
do
think-
think
yeah.
he's. I feel like I don't see him really played in ranked, but he feels so good. It's sort of like the Junker Queen effect of like, in the end, the way you defend yourself is by two-shotting the Tracer. Like you don't defend yourself with some fucking cooldown. You defend yourself with kills, and like that makes this hero really inaccessible for most people since it's so vulnerable. If you don't win the 1v1 against the DPS, you're probably can't really play this hero.
Zen's really good if they're playing Roadhog and they're not playing a Tracer. Like if they have
Yeah,
no way
right.
of punishing you, and you can just greedy play Zen,
Or you
I
have
think it's
a good Tracer on your team and you play around them and orb
Yeah,
them
yeah.
and then fight the. Or you're good enough at Zen where you can actually fight the enemy Tracer. But that's a lot of caveats.
yeah. Like
So I think
there's-
B is the right spot in general.
I
It's just like solid. And then to be fair though, in certain poke maps, I think Zen is like a god tier hero. Like on Circuit Royale, this hero is
Yeah,
the best
Circuit,
hero in the
yeah,
game.
it is
Because
must-play.
if the people aren't really going to be punishing you so much. And
Yeah.
maybe then again, I think at the highest level people will play like Brig Genji on Circuit. So maybe Zen still at the real pro level, people they know how powerful Zen is. They don't let you get away with it, or they fight you at least to make it hard. But yeah, better than C.
Okay. 3 heroes left, guys. Moving on to Moira.
Dude, I think Moira's booty now,
I don't know.
honestly.
Yeah, I don't see her
Yeah.
a lot.
May-
She's not
I
that
mean,
good. I mean,
I
she-
guess maybe I think better.
Yeah,
than
I'd put her in
D,
C.
not D.
I don't-
Yeah,
it's
not
like
D.
C
She's
or
not
D.
like-
C or maybe maybe B honestly because it is ranked. Like we're working kind of working ranked, but
I just don't think Moira's
this
as
hero.
good
I
as
feel like
the
this hero is
Tracer.
easy to kill. When I play Tracer,
Yeah.
I'm like so happy they have a Moira because I
It's
don't.
so easy to force.
I'm not going to be
bait.
surprised by her damage. I know how much damage
Yeah.
she can do, and I can still one clip her.
And there's a
then-
hero with a better fade that can go through walls. It's
Yeah, that
called
heals
Kiriko.
more. That
It's
has
switched
more
out.
burst damage. Yeah, and the better
Better
ult.
ult.
Pretty awesome. I think the hero's probably C. It's not like
Yeah.
if I see a Moira playing on the team, it's like okay, Lucio Moira. I'm like okay, that's fine. I mean,
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
you
It
can-
does. It
you
does.
can
Like maybe
make
it
it
is
work.
B tier, honestly, though, because it definitely can work in ranked. It's not
Yeah.
the best hero, but it absolutely can work in ranked.
I'd actually
Yeah.
be happy with B tier. It
Yeah,
can work.
let's put low B. Let's put low B. I'm
Just,
good with that as
just
well.
B.
Because
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
for sure better than Mercy. Like
Yeah.
almost guaranteed. At least it has a good offense. Like a really good Moira who's like, oh, we have enough heals in the front line. All right, I'm gonna flank and like do my own thing. And like if you're really good at Moira, that can work. And then you know when you need to come back and heal, and you heal a shitload when you heal. It's pretty okay. It's just
And yeah, Alaria is C because Scott's cunt. But yeah, we'll just move past that.
Batiste.
Baptiste is A tier, 100%.
yeah,
he's good.
yeah, A.
He's
I
better
guess
than
not
Moira.
S,
He's better
not
than
S,
Zen.
but
Not
close
S,
to
though.
that. Same
Yep.
sort of like Ana. In the rush comps, then I think he would maybe be S, but yeah, in general probably A is right. Just a hero,
I-
another very high skill hero though, right? Like you need to have
Right.
good aim for the left click to be good.
Yeah.
You need to have good aim for the right click to be good, frankly, to like consistently hit the perfect right click in the perfect spot. You watch Shu play this hero, you believe this hero is S tier, but maybe not everyone can do that. So yeah,
Not
maybe A
everybody
is
is
right.
shoe, sadly.
Okay.
Not everybody. Is
Costa, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the lock gimmick did not work as we thought it
Yeah,
would.
well, I thought more people were gonna fuck with
it
other people
fucking
like
worked.
I did.
I was gonna
Yeah.
lock Alari, but Scott was just the fucking loudest funny and just screamed over me, and I
Of
got
course,
fucking
loud is
owned.
funny. I don't
Oh
know why.
my God.
It was pretty
Stand by
funny.
it. All right, Brig.
It put us in a situation where we have Brig left, and
All right, guys, I am gonna lock Brig into. Where am I gonna lock Brig into? I don't even know.
Was the shield
Just to
bash
meme
buff
to use
enough?
the lock. That's actually low-key a big buff.
Yeah.
All right,
I think she's
all right,
pretty
what's funny
decent. I
is
don't
I
think
think
she's
at pro
insane,
level, I think Ana, like you play Brig with Ana, like it's the best
Yes.
hero to play with Ana. So low key, if you have an Ana dive comp, Brig is like A at least. If you don't have that, I would say B at best. Brig is also low key quite good against Roadhog.
Yeah.
Although most people
Yeah.
are just not good enough. That's not true if you're not good at Brig. If you're very good at Brig and you consistently whip shot after he hooks somebody, you consistently save people from the hook and get free procs on Roadhog. So honestly, I'm kind of convincing myself. What do you guys think about A? I don't want to lock
Maybe
it.
A.
I'm
I'd
curious your
actually-
perspective.
I'd
They do
I
a
actually
think
lot of
Brig
healing
Winston are
as
the
well.
best
Go with
heroes
A.
in the
She
game, or
does
some of the best heroes in the game to
lot
play
of
Brig into.
heals, man.
The heals are very strong. The free proc on
Yes.
Roadhog and booping Roadhog is actually very annoying for him, right? Because
She's good with Tracer. She's
Yeah.
good with she's good with Cass as well. If Cass is holding like a slight off angle, like she's
good with every single DPS we have in ANS.
Yeah, like
She's
anybody
sort
that
of
kind
not
of
the
hold
best
off-
with
Or
Junker
Joss.
Queen, but
I
No,
mean,
Jake. Use your lock. Use your lock.
I mean, we can.
I don't want to lock. I'm just curious.
no, lock into A. Lock into A. It just makes the graphic look more interesting
All
when
right,
people
I'll
stumble upon
lock it on A. Lock
give
it
me
on
my
A.
Tor
go.
block, bro. Give me my Tor block.
Where are you gonna lock him? Lock him in S?
Lock him in. No, lock him in B.
No, B is just the right. It's like the honest
It
answer.
is.
But I think Brig is. Let's go
not a
lock
bad
Brig
honesty,
into
guys.
A. I think
you go.
Brig is like has been pretty bad for, especially with the Orisa, because Orisa just turbo
Look how
owns
slow
Brig.
it-
Yeah.
Like fearlessly runs you down.
Hey.
But look at it
It's
go.
so slow. I love it.
Now
Look
when
at it
people
go.
look at the graphic and they're like, what are these
Beautiful.
lock things? There we go.
Looks sick.
But yeah, so I
That's
think
cool.
Brig has gotten a big ups from this patch, honestly. And the double bash thing, I think is like, I haven't really. I mean, I've not been playing Brig honestly since that, but that's a pretty big change, right? You can,
Yeah.
and when you have rally, you're going to be like bash, rally, bash. Like that's a pretty nasty combo. That's a lot of burst with a stun, with a lot of follow up, or just double mobility, or like you bash back and then rally and bash to turn, bashing. So like, I don't know, I like that.
No, yeah, I asked Kyle after in the winner's interview. I was just like, "Hey, you played a lot of on a Brig, and like, did the Brig change like incentivize you further?" And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, we already practiced on a Brig, but the shield bash buff it just further incentivized us to play more on a Brig
100%.
ever so slightly, right? So you'll take that if you play on a Brig already. It's a buff in your
Wait,
direction.
what's the player's
so,
name? Skyle? S-K-I-L?
Yeah,
Skyle, yeah.
SCYLE.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Come on, man.
I was thinking,
Collegiate
I
champion.
literally heard the word
Swedish-
Skyle. I was talking to my
Swedish
friends
players?
about TF2
Swedish
recently,
player.
and
Come
I was
on.
thinking SKIAL, like the old TF2 servers. I like couldn't get it out of my head. That's funny.
That's Swedish collegiate champion style to you. So come on now. All right, beat
Really
down
just
Merle.
adopting every Swedish player.
Oh, you know it. Come on, you have that with every Australian player. So don't
Of
you
course.
say
Of
it like
course.
that.
Yeah, no, I respect it.
Yeah. Exactly. Gotta respect it. All right, there you have it. The updated Season 10 post-mid-season patch tank changes, ranked hero tier list for top 500. Short and sweet.
There it is.
That's a
love to see
guarantee
that.
or something. I don't know.
Content.
Thank you, Solomon, for the locked graphic. I really appreciate the work you put
looks
into
great,
the
bro.
podcast.
Yeah, my god. Oh shit.
Look at me. Oh no.
No, don't retake it, please. This is perfect. This is perfect.
That's so bad. That was so bad.
That's so good. That's so good. All right. Thank you guys for taking the time to rank these heroes. Thank you, Jake, for doing this under the Plat Chat brand and not under your own YouTube channel. We appreciate you sharing your knowledge. Let's go ahead with Brand's Play of the Week. I was going to suggest Jaws for reaching his high score rank.
What the fuck?
But-
Scott comes on one more time and instantly, just because I do
Scott's
it
like,
with
"Yo,
someone
fuck
else.
Jack."
I do
You're a bit of
it
an asshole
with someone
to me,
else for
Jaws. I don't
1
know
week, bro,
anymore.
and that's it. Scott's on my, he's on the shit
you'd be
list.
like, oh, Jay's the best. He carries me to the fucking promised land. Okay, bro. Why
Wasn't
you
Jay
gonna
down
marry
to
him
like
then,
Masters?
bro?
Did you just get boosted because Jay was on such low rank, or what?
Yeah, well,
we were
Jay was
both,
like Masters 3 or something like that, wasn't
No,
he?
we were both GM 5 at that point, I think.
Okay.
Or something.
Alright.
Or like I was Masters 1, he was GM 5 or some shit like that.
With integrity.
Yeah, with
I respect. I second Jack. I think that's impressive. You know, hitting a top 20 rank. is not
Dude,
easy.
I'm
It's
not gonna
easy.
lie. I was
Good
like,
hustle.
how the fuck is this possible?
Good hustle
Played
out
Sugar
there,
Free
baby.
when he played Tank and PG was on Soj and we beat him. I was like, damn, anything's possible now, baby.
It's possible. baby.
I was happy
Sometimes
for you. I
Sugar
was
Free
like-
gets drunk and plays tanks. You gotta.
I know,
It depends.
it's-
It depends.
yeah.
The situation.
I was genuinely happy for you. You were so happy you got that high. Like I was
Yeah,
watching your
dude.
stream
No,
and you
dude,
were
I
like,
see it. When you hustle and you want, it's like, dude, it's fucking hard to get super high rank like that. And if you play the game all the time, you know how hard.
your
that is.
face
So, I
glowed
respect
up. It was like, oh, this is happy Jaws. This is what it looks like
Yeah,
when he's
happy.
happy.
Yeah, I've never
It's the
seen
first
this.
time since
Yeah.
2018 I've been happy, bro. It's crazy. It's just insane.
That's
God
awesome,
damn.
dude. And then you were rude to me on the podcast. I don't get why.
Yeah,
but
there
I was
you
happy
go.
for you. All right.
Not.
Hope your
I promise.
tires get sliced or something. Anyway, that's it for Plat Chat episode 227.
Fuck you, bro.
Hey, you started it. You talk shit
Oh, what
about
do you
me,
mean?
bro.
What do you mean? No, no,
You started
what
it,
the
bro. Oh my god.
Scott's like, let's have a harmonious broadcast.
Yeah, no, bro.
No, Scott did not
I
say
wanted
that.
people
Scott
to be
instantly
toxic.
shit
I
on
wanted
me.
people to be more toxic and do what I did, where we just like fuck over people's
Just throw
opinions.
shit.
That was the whole plan of it,
This
and then
fucking
everyone
guy,
was very
bro.
nice and
I
cordial.
did my job, Scott. I did
Yeah.
my job. I honored the locking feature.
you, Johnny.
But yeah, thank you to Solomon for putting work into that when we didn't
Solomon.
really use it. I appreciate you, Solomon. All right, that does it for Plat Chat Overwatch episode 227. It was apparently. I think I said 225 at the start. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
No, I
anyway,
think you got it right.
oh, I did. All right, great.
You're
Well,
27.
next
Let's go,
week,
baby.
next week we're gonna preview the OWCS Dallas major event. So that'll be a banger
Hell yeah.
episode. Thank you guys for joining us this week, and we'll see you again next week to actually chat about the Overwatch Esports.
Yay!
Esports. Let's go.